Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Other Castle.
The Other Castle. I'm Andrea.
And my name is Tom.
And here on The Other Castle, we do the plot, lore, and more behind all your favorite games.
If this is your first time listening, you can check out our website, theothercastlepodcast.com.
That's theothercastlepodcast.com.
Over there, we have links to our Instagram, Discord, item shop, as well as our Patreon.
Our Patreon is free for the first 7 days. We have a tier starting at $2 where you get a monthly show. And then starting at our $5 tier, you get that same monthly show and a bonus monthly show.
As well as early access, so you're listening to this a day early.
Welcome to Tuesday. How's it going?
Yeah, over there we cover DLCs, histories, movie commentaries, and so much more.
I cried during a game show.
You really did.
It really did. I cried today, actually.
Just a little while ago.
I cried an hour ago, and it's not necessarily. Tom's fine. He didn't do anything.
I did nothing.
We went to a haunted house, and I just burst into tears.
Yeah, we went to the Universal Horror Unleashed here in Vegas.
That was hard.
You cannot handle that.
No, so I need something like comforting right now. Do you have that for me?
I've got Harry Potter.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna let you take this one.
I guess it's not necessarily Harry Potter. It is Hogwarts Legacy.
Ooh, the Wizarding World.
But at the same time, when it comes to Harry Potter, where do we even begin?
Well, I immediately take a couple steps back. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, yeah, you're not a big fan of the Harry Potter world.
I think I read the first few when I was in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have seen all the movies eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm not considered myself a Potterhead. I've never willingly gone to a Harry Potter thing.
You have. You've been to a couple things willingly.
Yeah, you put me on the quiz to find out where I live.
Okay. You mean your house?
Yes.
Okay.
That's where you live. I'm so bewildered by you not understanding that.
I understood it. I'm just saying. I think where we should start is going to be the middle. Mainly because the story of how the books were written has been told a million times before. So we're going to start after the books and movies were released, but before the production of Hogwarts Legacy.
Okay.
In fact, we're not even going to start with Harry Potter. We're going to begin by bringing up the Cormoran Strike mystery novels, written by Robert Galbraith.
That's where you're taking this. Oh my.
The reason we're starting here is because it is the second series written by the author of the Harry Potter books. But wait, you say, Robert Galbraith didn't write Harry Potter.
But wait, Robert Galbraith didn't write Harry Potter.
Some transphobic bitch did.
Some fucking piece of shit transphobic cunt-ass Bert-looking bitch did.
Well, the person who wrote Harry Potter learned very early in their career that authors with a woman's name don't tend to sell well. Hence why they used their initials for their author name when writing the Harry Potter books. Robert Galbraith is the pen name they chose when writing the Cormoran Strike novels, as they wanted to prove they were a good writer and didn't need the backing of their name to make sales.
I don't think people liked those books.
They were okay. Some of them. But the thing that they still acknowledged was that transitioning from a woman to a man for the name of the author was the right decision.
Oh my.
The first novel from that series debuted to decent reviews, but dog shit sales. So after a month on the shelf, it was revealed that the author of the Harry Potter series was also Robert Galbraith.
Was it done with like a mask getting pulled off their face like an old Scooby-Doo?
No, it was more just like news articles started to drop saying like, oh my god.
No sense of humor.
No, none whatsoever. But the book started selling. So because of that book series, we will only be referring to the author of the Harry Potter franchise as Robert Galbraith.
Mr. Robert Galbraith. Yes.
Why are we doing this? Well, if you couldn't tell from how we described them before, the author of the Harry Potter franchise is a big, turfy, transphobic trash bag.
Fuck you.
Robert even went on to make Cormoran Strike transphobic as well by the third book in that series.
Jesus Christ.
We here at The Other Castle are very pro-transgender.
Absolutely.
We are pro-people in general.
Absolutely.
We also find it very ironic that a woman who goes by the name Robert Galbraith is a transphobe.
This dumb bitch.
Few things in this world have disappointed me more than Robert Galbraith and their views. I am personally a gigantic Harry Potter fan. I've gone to midnight releases for the books and movies.
Really?
I've been to the theme parks, gone on the backlot tours, owned the customized box set of the hardcover books and movies. We've even seen the Broadway show Harry Potter and the Cursed Child twice. A lot of money has gone from my pocket into Robert Galbraith's, who has recently stated they are using their billion-dollar fortune to actively harm trans people. Which genuinely sucks, like, a lot. Knowing that some of my money has gone to hurt those I care about. Which is why for this month, we are donating every dollar we make on Patreon to Trans Lifeline. Trans Lifeline is a grassroots hotline nonprofit organization offering direct emotional and financial support to trans people in crisis. Their phone number and website are listed in the show notes if you want to donate or are in need of their support. I hate that 2 weeks in a row we've had to donate money just to cover a game.
Jesus Christ.
But also it feels really good to give to communities that need it more than we do.
Yeah.
But fear not, Goombas, because we did not pay 1 red cent for Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, hell yeah.
We fortunately won a download code for a free copy. So we got to experience the game without giving Robert Galbraith money, and you can too by listening to the rest of this episode. Besides, that's not really how licensing deals work anyway. Andrea here has personally done licensing deals with the Wizarding World team, and she can confirm a check just gets cut when the contracts are signed.
And it's a very, very long time before that gets cut. Also, one time Robert Galbraith did have to copy edit something I wrote.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
That's actually kind of cool.
It's not now.
Not now.
Fuck that guy.
Part of it's cool. That's the fucking problem. That's what I hate about it.
I actually asked Tom if I had to be in this one. And then he explained the concept of the show.
Yeah.
For like an hour.
Yeah, but what I was mainly trying to say is that, like, individual sales, they don't, like, trickle down into their pocket. That's not how the licensing deals really work. Also, Robert Galbraith did not have any involvement in Hogwarts Legacy outside of creating the original IP. The people who did make it was Portkey Games in collaboration with Avalanche Software.
Portkey sounds familiar. Did they do the Harry Potter game with Niantic?
They did, yeah.
Got it.
They make all of the Wizarding World games now.
Oh, okay. So that's just the full gaming division.
It is, yeah. Avalanche was formerly owned by Disney, but Warner Brothers snatched them up and set them to task on making their largest Wizarding World game to date. I say Wizarding World instead of Harry Potter because it doesn't take place within the story of Harry Potter at all. It takes place long before the events of his story ever occur. Instead of playing as the titular hero of the series, you play as a new student at Hogwarts and set out on a completely original adventure all your own.
That's cool. The Harry Potter kids dream of getting their letter and going to Hogwarts anyway. So
Exactly.
there's a lot of wish fulfillment.
This gives us an open-world action RPG style game where you are the star. As this was far from the first Harry Potter game, as they've been around since the movies became popular. But this would be the first time fans could immerse themselves in the world as themselves. Hogwarts Legacy was built on Unreal Engine 4, and it began development in late 2017. Just in time for Robert Galbraith to go full mask off on their turfdom.
Ugh.
Once that happened, the studio decided to just buckle down and make a great game, despite all the controversy going on out in the real world surrounding the creator of the franchise.
That's gotta be so bittersweet for the people working on the game.
Right? To like, it's the same way it feels just to be a fan of the series, to be real. Originally intended for a 2021 release, Hogwarts Legacy would see several delays, ultimately pushing it back to May 2023.
Whoa, that's a whole game cycle for some studios.
Yeah, the full production of some games take that long. That's when it released to all consoles, with the exception of the Switch, which saw it in November that same year. It received an 83% Metacritic score,
That's very strong.
praising the action, world building, and how it gave you the exaggerated swagger of a magical teen.
Shut the fuck up. When you Miles Morales anything, you don't have to Miles Morales nothing.
Despite the controversy being a Wizarding World game, Hogwarts Legacy sold insanely well. To date, it has moved more than 25 million copies.
Whoa!
And was the highest selling game of 2023.
Holy shit.
There's also a 250-page making of book that shows how they built it and the production process of the game.
Oh.
From what I understand, it's mostly a picture book with concept art, but like,
that's cool.
Really good artwork.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm still a Harry Potter fan, and I don't see that really changing anytime in my future. I also really enjoy this game, and you can tell it was made by people who truly love the series as well. I know we started off on a quote-unquote political note, but I promise that's pretty much it from here out. It's time to get your wands from Ollivanders and mount your broomsticks, Goombas. This is Hogwarts Legacy. First and foremost, this game takes place 100 years before Harry Potter is born.
Oh, he's not even a glimmer in someone's Patronus.
No, in fact, it takes place 2 years before Albus Dumbledore would be a first-year student at the school.
No Dumby?
So the game does get to exist outside that storyline entirely, happening long before Lord Voldemort was even born.
You're not supposed to say that name.
Yeah, I can now.
You're not supposed to dead name him. This dumb bitch. I'm sorry.
The game begins with you receiving your Hogwarts acceptance letter. Typically, the letter arrives around a person's 11th birthday, which is the age you begin your first year at Hogwarts, which goes up through year 7. However, this letter is welcoming you to your first year at Hogwarts as a 5th-year student. The letter informs you that using magic outside of school while under the age of 17 is strictly prohibited. However, given your unique circumstances, special permissions have been granted to you, which will allow one of Hogwarts' teachers, Professor Alazor Fig, to give you some private instruction prior to your arrival at school.
Oh.
Now, Fig is the last name of Harry Potter's squib neighbor who spies on Harry for Dumbledore while he lives with his aunt and uncle over the holidays.
I know some of those words.
A squib being a non-magical person born into a wizarding family.
Oh, that's so sad.
It really is. No, like, squibs do not get treated well in the wizarding world at all. Professor Fig will escort you to Hogwarts on September 1st for the start of term feast and the sorting ceremony. Signed, Deputy Headmistress, Professor Weasley.
Oh!
Because remember, the wizarding world is both vast as well as microscopic. You can then create your character using Unreal Engine's amazing toolset, giving you options across the gender spectrum, as well as a masculine or feminine voice. The masculine played by actor Sebastian Croft, who sounds remarkably like Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh.
With the femme voice being performed by Amelia Getting. You can tweak the
pitch of their voices if you want,
but they sound super digital if you do.
No.
So it's best to stick with the normal ones, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
You're next whisked away to London, where Professor Fig, an elderly man in his 60s with short gray hair and a clean-shaven face, is securing luggage to a carriage. The wagon has no visible animals to pull it. That's because it's being pulled by Thestrals. Thestrals are big, black, skeletal horse-like creatures with long, leathery wings.
That's so goth.
Invisible to all, but those who have witnessed death firsthand.
A literal, reminder of trauma in the form of an animal?
Well, some see them as bad luck, given their sickly appearance and macabre way of seeing them.
Yeah.
But for others, they're a sign of comfort, reminding them of those they've lost.
But so every time you whip up the carriage, you're like, remember how grandma's dead?
Yeah.
It's got to be helpful for someone.
Well, regardless of all that, they're easily trainable, can fly, are able to carry immense weight, and have an excellent sense of direction, so they're often used for transportation purposes.
I think they're just lonely and they want to be helpful. They try harder because a lot of people ignore them. It doesn't feel good to be ghosted.
Yeah, exactly, right? Just because you're ugly.
I meant ghosted in the... Never mind.
Because they're invisible?
Because of the death.
While the Hogwarts letter would lead you to believe you will be going through a tutorial, you'd be sorely mistaken.
That felt like a really good setup for a tutorial.
This is actually the end of your private lessons, and the two of you are headed for Hogwarts, with Professor Fig asking if you've been practicing everything he taught you.
Oh.
You assure him you have, and thank him for his help in preparing you for Hogwarts, so you don't begin your 5th year looking like a first. A man named George Osric apparates next to the two of you, which means he teleported, and Professor Fig welcomes him.
Fun.
He says that he has important matters to discuss with Fig and asks if he can tag along for the ride to Hogwarts so the two of them can talk. The three of you then pile into the horseless, horse-drawn carriage. George boards last, and as he does, he glances down an alley and frowns at something or someone. Fig tells him to hurry along, and he joins you, settling into the carriage. The driver thwips his reins, and the carriage flies up into the cloudy early morning sky. From below, a mysterious figure watches you fly away, then vanishes as they disapparate away.
That's not going to be anything important.
You fly through the clouds, while the production company logos fade through them as they always did in the film series.
Oh.
Your carriage bursts through the big-ass WB, and we see George Osric saying how happy he is to have caught Professor Fig before he left for the school year. He asks about you, and Fig explains that you're a brand new student. Nobody can think of a time in the history of the school where someone has been admitted so late. Then explains that the two of you were doing some private lessons before the school year started. Osric says that there is no finer mentor than Fig, and you're lucky to have him.
Oh.
Fig turns and explains that flattery is how Mr. Osric has risen to such a high position within the Ministry of Magic.
That nose looking real brown.
Becoming serious, Mr. Osric pulls out a copy of the Wizard's newspaper, the Daily Prophet, with a headline reading, Ranrock's Goblin Rebellion. Truth or gobbledygook?
Something about it feels like a slur. I can't say what or why.
Gobbledygook is the official language of the goblins.
I appreciate that you narrated on exactly what probably triggered that for me. Like, something feels like a slur.
No.
Got it.
Yeah, it's just the name of their language.
All right.
He asks if Professor Fig has heard anything about this Goblin Rebellion. Fig says that he has, but everything he knows about Ranrock is that he's all talk and no action.
Ranrock is all talk?
Yeah, basically. Mr. Osric says that Mrs. Fig had written to him months ago asking him to keep an eye on this Ranrock guy, worried something like this would happen. But she died shortly after sending the letter.
Oh, no.
While the men talk, you glance out the window and see a shadow moving just below the clouds. But seeing as you're new to magic, you ignore it, figuring it must be something you just don't understand about flying carriages. George Osric next pulls out a cylindrical container with a flame-like symbol on it, saying that Mrs. Fig's personal owl delivered it to him before he could even respond to her request, which to him meant she needed to get rid of it quickly. Seeing as she was Professor Fig's wife, he hoped he would have answers. Professor Fig takes it from Osric and examines it, saying that it's forged from goblin metal. Osric has tried everything he can think of to open it, but to no avail. You look at the thing and ask why it's glowing. The two men look at you confused, saying it's not glowing at all.
Oh.
But to you, the flame symbol is bright blue.
Whoa.
Professor Fig hands you the cylinder, and within seconds it pops open, revealing a key with the flame symbol as the handle. You reach for it, but Professor Fig tells you to wait. We don't know what... Then a dragon eats the back half of the carriage, including George Osric.
I'm sorry. This is so fast.
It's so fucking sudden and abrupt and jarring. Just mid-conversation, and a dragon fucking shows up and eats George Osric.
It eats a man.
The pilot keeps the front half moving while you and Professor Fig stare out at open sky and a pissed-off dragon.
Oh my god.
You look toward the front of the wagon and watch as 6 Thestrals slowly appear, pulling you through the sky.
Oh no!
Yeah, you definitely just watched that dude get killed.
You watched a man die today.
It's the best way to confirm that he died I could possibly imagine, honestly.
That is probably the most G-rated kill you could execute.
Yeah, truly. You don't
Oh my
see it
God.
necessarily happen, but damn.
But you are traumatized, confirmed.
The dragon shoots fire and everyone jumps out, falling through the sky. Professor Fig can see the key falling and tells you to grab his hand. He shouts Accio, summoning the key toward him. The moment it touches his hand, you both vanish out of there, just as the dragon's mouth closes down where the two of you once were.
Holy shit.
You slam down hard in a dark cave. Fig is confused, because he didn't apparate the two of you here. That wasn't a normal key. It was a port key.
That's the studio that made the game.
A port key is an item that is enchanted to transport whoever touches it to a predetermined location. It doesn't have to be an actual key. It can be genuinely anything at all.
But this is a very literal translation of the port key.
Yeah, it really is.
Someone with no sense of creativity.
Having no idea who created it or why, he tells you to stay close to him as he begins to look around. There's an exit to the cave nearby, and the two of you walk out into the sunlight to see you're on a cliffside overlooking the ocean. In the near distance, a rocky island can be seen, jutting straight up, with a small temple-like structure built into it. Any bridges to it having long been destroyed. Professor Fig is certain his wife Miriam sent George that port key for a reason, and that the two of them likely died because of it. He's determined to find out why, if you wouldn't mind joining him. On the way, he explains that his wife was a magic historian. She was hunting down evidence of an ancient form of magic that has been long forgotten over time.
Whoa.
Hogwarts was actually built using a good amount of that ancient magic, which is why it's considered the most secure stronghold in the wizarding world.
Huh.
You ask why she was obsessed over lost magic, and he says that the two of them believe that there's no such thing as good and bad magic.
They're centralists.
Just good and bad people. So, even if that magic was lost for a reason, she wanted to wield it for the benefits it could provide to wizard kind. The two of you make your way to one of the destroyed bridges, and Professor Fig uses magic to restore it. You watch in awe as the bridge rebuilds itself brick by brick before your very eyes, connecting you to the island across the way. The two of you investigate the ruined temple on the island until you stumble upon a wall containing that flame symbol, glowing bright blue, so you call Professor Fig over. While waiting for him, you get a little closer to the wall. It's clearly marked by magic, as blackness starts to cover the symbol, replacing the rock it's carved into.
Oh.
The blackness becomes almost mirror-like, as a shadowy figure on the other side mimics your every movement. But the image behind the person doesn't match your location at all. You're outdoors, but they're in a grand hall. Fig joins you finally and is wondering why someone would carve that symbol onto the wall. You ask him about the room you can see, and he has no idea what you're talking about. You tell him it's glowing blue like the port key container, and you reach out, touching the flame. It vanishes in an instant, and Professor Fig declares, "Merlin's beard."
Is that a saying, or did he see something?
No, that's a saying.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fully just like an exclamation that wizards say.
By grab Thar's hammer type
Yeah,
shit.
that kind of shit. Because the two of you were instantly transported inside the room you saw. The marble floors guide you to a tall desk, where you can just barely see the top of a balding head and long pointy ears. The goblin to whom they belong, fast asleep on top of a very thick book open to the center pages. Fig clears his throat to wake him up, and the goblin is amazed to see someone is here.
Oh.
He gets down from his desk and, standing at 3 feet tall, bows low, welcoming you to Gringotts Bank, asking if you're here for vault number 12. Fig is like, "Yeah, sure."
Let's roll the dice on that one.
The goblin asks for the key, and he hands him the one from the container.
Oh.
The three of you board a craft resting on 2 parallel rails and take off into the depths of the bank. The goblin explaining the many security features Gringotts has to offer. Fig asks if private entrances like the one you just used are common, and he says that only the most wealthy and or most powerful get these sorts of privileges.
He said, no, that's bougie.
The cart is a wild roller coaster, which you can actually ride at Universal Studios in Florida.
Oh.
At one point, taking you through something known as the Thieves' Downfall, a waterfall that all high-security carts must pass through. It washes away all enchantments and means of concealment, something Harry, Ron, and Hermione discovered to great peril in the book series. The goblin tells you that Vault 12 was built in the earliest days of Gringotts Bank, over 400 years ago. So it's very deep underground.
Do the goblins live there?
It's very unsure. I've always been of the assumption they just work there.
Okay.
I think they do go home.
So there may not be vault dwellers here, but there are in our other episode on Fallout New Vegas.
Oh my god.
Available wherever you're listening to this podcast.
The cart stops briefly, and a very gruff Gringotts goblin guard greets you, asking for your vault number. He grants you permission to continue, and while you're moving, you lean over and tell Fig that the guard's armband was glowing. But not like the blue glow you keep seeing. It was a dark black and red glow. You thought you saw something similar around the neck of the dragon that attacked you.
Ooh. I do appreciate that you immediately are like, I'm special. But I do need to communicate this out because I am new to this shit.
He's just confirming if what he's seeing other people are seeing, basically. And then he's just finding out, nope, he's the only one seeing it.
I am special.
You finally arrive at the vault, and the goblin tells you that someone has been stationed at that desk for 400 years.
I want that job so bad. Could you imagine my day? I clock in, I sit, nothing happens. I go home, I spend my money.
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing.
Not a single person has ever visited this vault until today. The two of you step inside, and you ask what you're supposed to be looking for. Fig says he has no idea. Turning to ask the goblin, instead of helping, he says, I was instructed to grant the holder of the key access to the vault, and then close the door, slamming it shut behind you.
Oh!
From the other side, you hear him wish you the best of luck as the two of you venture into the vault to figure out why you're here.
And why you need luck.
Immediately, you see the glowing blue flame on a wall and touch it, transporting the two of you to a pitch black room with occasional marble columns.
This keeps happening.
Lighting the tips of your wands with Lumos, you look around until you find something other than the symbol glowing on the ground. Since Fig can't see anything glowing, he follows your lead. You wave your wand, releasing magic from the ground. It causes the floor beneath you to become reflective. You see the image of a statue bouncing off the ground, but don't see the actual statue. Using magic, you revealio the hidden statue and use it to puzzle solve through the section. It also kicks off your first battle. This is where you really learn the basic controls.
This is all leading up to the tutorial?
This is all part of the tutorial now.
Jesus.
Honestly, I gotta give this game credit. Magic battles are pretty fun.
Yeah?
I always imagined myself in a wizard fight, and this game definitely gave me that feeling I craved.
Oh, you really did have the swagger of feeling like a young wizard.
I would honestly compare the system to Ghost of Tsushima as being the closest, which becomes almost a ballet of button mashing when you understand the flow of combat.
Beautiful.
Thankfully, you have a fully trained adult wizard with you, and he makes it a bit easier for you.
A fully trained adult wizard sounds like something you'd hear at a shelter. Swap wizard for labradoodle.
Right. Well, he was with you up until the magic makes him vanish.
Oh.
And you find yourself completely alone. Then you have to fight statues that come alive to protect this mysterious dungeon. After stumbling around in the dark some more, you find a tall sculpture of the flame symbol carved out of rock. With a wave of your wand, it becomes a doorway, like a magic portal that leads into another temple room. At its center is a stone basin, containing a liquid and an inverted teardrop-shaped vial floating in the air above it. You take it in your hand, and from the other side of the room, Professor Fig walks through a door.
Oh.
He's confused, wondering how you got here. You tell him you found this vial, and he sees the basin, saying it's a pensieve, a magical device used for viewing memories. He takes the vial from your hand and pours the contents into the basin, saying to follow his lead as he dunks his face into it. You follow suit and are pulled into a misty blackness. Inside the pensieve, you see an elderly wizard with a long beard waving his wand around, creating a grand hall made of precious, smooth stone. A younger wizard in his 40s is also here, bald and wearing a floppy cap, assisting the older man. The younger is named Charles Rookwood, and the older is Percival Rackham. Rackham asks if the port key has been well hidden after the two of them agree the hall is complete. Rookwood is worried it's hidden too too well, that the secret path they've created will be impossible to follow. Rackham says it will only be impossible for those who can't see traces of ancient magic, as he can.
Ooh.
Which is kind of the point to begin with. Rookwood is still worried that it won't be enough. Just blindly trusting someone who can see the traces with such powerful knowledge is very risky. There will be those willing to kill for this knowledge. Rackham reassures Rookwood that the trials will be what proves the person who can see the traces will be worthy of the knowledge. The very act of completing them will be something only the right person can do. Rookwood hopes he's right, as Percival Rackham removes the memory of this moment from his mind and places it in the vial that you found. You are transported back out of the pensieve and find yourself in the very hall you just watched get built. Fig understands immediately. You can see the ancient magic.
Yeah.
The thing his wife died hunting to prove existed. He says that for whatever reason, you're the key to figuring out what she and George died trying to discover. The moment is interrupted by the sound of goblins arguing outside the vault. One is barging toward the door, saying that nobody has ever been in here before, and he needs to see who it is.
I gotta see this shit.
All while the banker goblins say it's against protocol. With a snap of his fingers, the door flies open, and Ranrock, the goblin from the cover of the Daily Prophet, walks into the room, saying he was starting to think nobody was going to visit Rackham's vault. Fig pulls his wand, asking what he wants. Ranrock says that he wants whatever you found in here. The banker goblin interrupts, saying that the two of you had the key. Ranrock turns and tells him to choose his next words carefully.
Ooh.
The banker continues, saying that his instructions were clear. Give access to the person with the key, and Ranrock has never had the key. With a flick of his wrist, Ranrock magically lifts the banker in the air and slams him down into the ground, forcing his head down past his own shoulders with a squish.
Whoa!
Ranrock says he has zero patience for traitors, and asks, "Now where were we?"
Oh, he flattened a goblin!
Fig refuses to give in, and the goblin turns on you, saying that he's sure he can torture you until Fig talks.
Yeah, because you're a teenager.
This makes Fig spring into action, and he launches an attack at Ranrock, who returns the volley.
Good for you. Protect the child from being abused.
This causes one of the security measures in the vault to activate, awakening a 20-foot-tall, magic-imbued knight who takes over the fight while you and Fig make your escape through a door that only you can see as it glows, showing a vision of the outdoors.
There's a magical bouncer at the bank, and that is sending me. Shit gets too rowdy, I spring to life.
You touch the portal, and the two of you are instantly transported to a forested area. It's nighttime, and you ask where you are. Fig is astonished, saying that whoever these wizards are, they wanted you to end up here of all places. Gesturing toward a road sign ahead that points in two directions, he says that the two of you have a sorting ceremony to attend. The camera flies high into the air, showing the Hogwarts Express pulling into the nearby Hogsmeade station, ready to begin a new year. While following an owl in flight, Hedwig's theme swells as the legendary school itself is revealed, peeking through the fog over the great lake that surrounds it.
Aww.
The title card appears as the full moon rises over Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
Now, are you sure it's on the base of a lake?
Stop, don't do that here. Yes, it is definitely a lake.
Could be an
It's
ocean.
not an ocean.
Could be an ocean.
At the door of the Great Hall, Professor Fig says that you've made it just in time for the sorting ceremony. With a flick of his wand, your clothes transform into Hogwarts robes, and he tells you that he needs to leave you from here. He needs to let the Ministry know that George was killed today. In the meantime, he asks you to keep what happened tonight a secret between the two of you. He pops open the door and peeks his head in to see that you are just too late for the sorting ceremony as the final student takes their seat, and Professor Weasley begins to put the sorting hat away.
What, so you're just not spoken for all semester?
Unhoused.
Yeah. You have to sleep in the library every night. Fuck you.
The headmaster, a man with short black hair and a dark goatee, sees Fig peering in and marches down the aisle in a huff to see what he's doing. Fig pulls back, saying, "Great, Looks like you're going to meet the headmaster right now.
Can I ask, do wizards live longer than humans?
Some do, yeah. Like, I know Dumbledore lived to, I think, 125.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And then there is a character in the series itself. He is like something like 400 or 500 years old.
Whoa.
But it's because he has the Philosopher's Stone and he is able to create like an elixir that keeps him alive.
Botox.
Yeah.
Okay, but most of these characters are probably not relevant in the books and movies in that timeline since we're around 100-ish years prior. But I'm sure some of them might be. There are certainly some loopholes.
It's so funny you're choosing right now to say this because this is Phineas Nigellus Black.
That means nothing to me.
In the book series, he's referred to as the most hated headmaster in the school's history.
That's very funny.
His portrait does play a large role in helping to take down Voldemort, so he is a character in the books.
Oh.
So yes, even though it does take place 100 years earlier, this is him when he was alive.
Okay, so there are some very direct, here's that characters.
Sometimes. It's very rare. There's only about 3 or 4.
Yeah, but okay, I hear you.
He comes in hot, asking why Fig is late. He missed the sorting ceremony. Fig tries to explain that there was a goblin situation, but Professor Black tells him to shut it. He doesn't want to hear any nonsense rumors and excuses.
We saw a man get eaten by a dragon.
Then, without introducing himself, turns to you saying that if you're lucky, we might be able to get you sorted tonight.
What's the alternative if we don't?
You hurry along into the great hall behind Professor Black to the front, where he tells Professor Weasley that there's one more to be sorted.
I feel like they're not accepting that there's not an alternative to having this person sorted. Am I crazy? Like,
No,
you have to be sorted.
Yeah, exactly. They're absolutely going to sort him. They're just going to act like it's a huge inconvenience, even though it's not. It's a fucking hat.
Why are they being mean about the hat?
He is the most hated headmaster in the history of the school.
You told me this 2 minutes ago. I'm so sorry. You're right. My bad.
He is a fucking dick. Students crane their neck as they see an older new student about to be sorted, a rare occurrence typically reserved for transfer students. Never has there been a 5th year coming in as a brand new one. Professor Weasley is warm and welcoming, offering you a seat, and places the sorting hat on your head. It comes alive, noting your age. It asks you a series of questions. If you know the 4 houses and what they stand for, it's pretty easy to guide it in the direction you want in terms of which house you want to be placed. Gryffindor is for bravery, Ravenclaw is for intelligence, Slytherin is for evil, and Hufflepuff is other. And I say that as a proud Hufflepuff. It will tell you where you sorted, but in the end, you get to choose which house you want anyway. Which is cool, because you can play through the game as any of the 4 houses, and you'll get exclusive side quests to your house.
That's cool.
As well as cosmetics and equipment, since it's an action RPG at its core. The Great Hall cheers at your sorting as you're welcome to whatever house you chose. Professor Black decides to take the joy out of the room and says that due to the injury sustained during last year's Quidditch final, he is canceling the sport altogether.
Welcome the new student. None of you get sports.
Hogwarts will no longer have Quidditch.
Just period.
You can start to see why he was the least popular headmaster in the school's history with that decision alone.
This is not a pleasant person.
The hall erupts in anger, and he tells him to calm down. It's not like he banned flying entirely, but he's tempted to after the school's reaction.
Psychotic.
Besides, he's sure they all have plenty to do before tomorrow. Then wonders why nobody took that as an order to leave the dinner table and go to their common rooms.
Because you're being a prick. Oh my god.
So he repeats himself, shooing them away. Professor Weasley escorts you to the common room, saying she's excited for you, explaining the way houses work, and remembers how excited she was for the first time she stepped foot inside Gryffindor Tower. Hearing this, you ask, "Oh, you were a Gryffindor?" And like a proud millennial, she responds, "I am a Gryffindor."
Have you ever seen a resume with someone's Hogwarts house on it?
Ooh, I have not.
You
no,
haven't?
I have to admit I have not seen that.
That might be a LinkedIn legend. But it's really just, we get it, you're a millennial.
And I've seen a lot of resumes.
That's what I figured.
Each of the common rooms are designed completely different. Gryffindor and Ravenclaw both being high up in different towers. Slytherin residing deep in the dungeons under the Great Lake where students can watch all sorts of water life swim by. Hufflepuffs live at ground level built into the hillside near the kitchens. They each have their own charm and unique aspects to them, as well as students with whom you can interact. Walking around the common room can be a bit overwhelming, as every single student has something to say if you approach them. There were times I genuinely wondered if they used AI to fill out any of the characters, but fortunately the answer is no. They were all hired actors spitting out thousands of lines of dialogue.
Honestly, hell yeah.
Some are just nameless characters saying random shit. Others are named and interactable, most of which providing side quests or information. While talking with them, you'll often have lists of dialogue options. Honestly, they all point in the same direction, but it's your tone that changes. You can be kind, mean, diplomatic, deceptive. And the other students can respond in kind, creating all sorts of fun ways to craft your relationships with people, as the way you treat them will impact how they treat you as the game progresses.
Antagonize, antagonize, antagonize.
Oh, you're a Slytherin.
Oh. When I took the quiz, it says I was House Badger?
Okay. Despite neither you nor Professor Fig telling anyone about your journey, the rumors have spread quickly that you escaped a dragon attack on your way to school. But that's just Hogwarts for you. It's a gossipy place.
I thought you were going to be like, it's Hogwarts. That happens to everyone here.
Professor Weasley meets you outside your common room the next morning to help get you started on your first day, guiding you on how to navigate the enormous map that is Hogwarts. She tells you that since most of your stuff was destroyed when you were attacked by that dragon, you'll need to go into Hogsmeade, the all-wizarding town just outside of Hogwarts, and do some shopping for supplies. Fortunately, being a fifth year, you can leave campus to do those sorts of things. Unfortunately, being a fifth year, you'll also have your OWLs, or OWLs, at the end of the school year. It's an exam every fifth year must take that determines the type of career they can go after in life.
The SATs for wizards!
So don't fuck it up.
For our listeners who may be facing something similar, SAT scores don't really matter. Don't worry about it.
Never will they matter.
The only time you hear someone pull it up is because they have nothing else to talk about.
Bingo.
Don't worry about them.
She compliments your usage of basic spells like Revelio, a spell you will cast more than any person should, and says that she's not so sure the whole story Professor Fig told about the dragon attack is true. That maybe there was more than just a search for your belongings and a long walk that occurred afterwards.
She needs to back up and mind her business.
Well, you are given the choice to tell her the truth or lie. And honestly, it doesn't really matter that much which you choose, as Professor Fig arrives and changes the subject back to your aptitude for basic spells. Professor Weasley leaves the two of you alone, and he reminds you that this whole quest for ancient magic is best kept secret for now. People kill for this information. Professor Weasley is as trustworthy as they come, but she's also the headmaster's right hand, so it's hard to tell where her loyalties lie. In the meantime, he's excited you'll be going into Hogsmeade for supplies. You've been using one of the school's loner wands this entire time, and you'll be much better off with a wand of your own. Fortunately, Ollivander's Wand Makers has a branch in Hogsmeade, and you'll be able to get one there. In the meantime, he'll keep researching the ancient magic stuff while you get to class.
How does the wand store stay open when it's not the back-to-school rush?
I have kind of always wondered that same thing.
Kind of like a Spirit Halloween, there's a very specific time frame for this.
Yeah, but also at the same time, you think of like how people just break shit in their everyday lives anyway. Sometimes people's wands break.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really slow for like 11 months out of the year, though.
Also, I bet there's customization you can do if you're wealthy, that kind of stuff. Get some new handles put on, because that's something you can do in the game.
Can you put a Labubu on it?
Probably. You can get a little Labubu charm, yeah. Dangling off the end.
Yes. I got my first Labubu, guys. It's dumb. I don't understand it. I looked at it and was like, I feel nothing.
I'm just grateful you won it.
I wanted to feel something.
Yeah.
Feel nothing.
Your first class is Charms with Professor Ronan. You look for a seat and are quickly waved over by a black Gryffindor student with a thick African accent. She introduces herself as Natty and is excited to meet a new student, asking if you've ever met Professor Ronan. At that, the door to the room opens and the teacher enters. Professor Ronan is mid-50s and of Indian descent. He smiles wide, entering the room, welcoming everyone to Year 5 of Charms, saying that it will be difficult, but he's confident everyone will come out great with some hard work. He asks a question to get the room warmed up, and nobody responds. He jokes, asking if everyone spent the summer practicing Obliviate on each other, which is a spell that makes people forget things. When nobody laughs, he realizes the class needs some practice, and tells everyone to get up to practice Accio, the summoning charm. This is how you'll obtain new spells throughout the game. You'll attend class, sometimes complete some quests attached to it, and then learn something new. The first time you cast it, you'll have to trace a pattern with the controller, but after that, it's just an action selection.
That was part of how Portkey did the mobile Pokemon Go version
Yeah,
with
it
Niantic
was.
as well.
Yeah, you had to trace it to do like the wand movements.
Yeah, and they'd have different symbols that you'd have to trace out, like a circle or a squiggly thing.
Yeah, here you just have to do it once.
It's interesting that they kind of took some components and road tested them in this very limited mobile game.
Right.
Which I don't believe exists anymore. I think it did get shut down.
Honestly, there are fantastic beasts in this game, and a lot of the designs are exactly like the designs from that game specifically.
Interesting. Okay, I stand by my theory. They absolutely road tested some stuff and just said, put it in Unreal.
Yeah, I mean, the game was a huge flop, so.
Yeah, but it just when it's vertical, when it's horizontal, clearly it's going great.
Oh, this is great, yeah.
Yeah.
The school part is a massive aspect of the game, but it really is school shit. You learn, you talk with other students about class, you develop rivalries, friendships, and a reputation.
Ooh.
For example, Natty, the girl that called you over. She was a transfer student from Ouagadougou, the world's largest wizarding school in Africa. Her mother is a divination professor and got a job teaching at Hogwarts. So she wanted to make you feel included right away because she remembers what it was like being new.
What a sweetheart.
You ask if magic is taught the same way in Ouagadougou, and she says that the biggest difference is that people use wands here. Magic is completely wandless where she comes from.
Huh.
While doing magic without one is much easier, she does enjoy the dramatic flair of wand use.
There's so much pageantry here.
Yeah. After departing from your new friend Natty, you head off to Defense Against the Dark Arts, where Professor Hecat, an elderly lady, teaches you how to fight other wizards in duels. One thing I really respected about this game is that none of the teachers are analogs for characters in the books. They are their own people with their own traits. They also were all instructed to give you extra coursework to help get you up to speed, often giving you side missions to complete involving the many other students in the school across all 4 houses. You'll meet Slytherins who are kind but ambitious, as well as Ravenclaws who are brilliant but also dicks. After your first day of classes, Professor Weasley summons you to her office to check in. When you enter, she's speaking with a house elf named Deke, who departs when you enter the room to give you 2 some privacy. You catch up and tell her about your first day, and that it's going great. She is happy to hear it and says that she has already made arrangements with the shopkeepers in Hogsmeade to help get you set up with all your missing supplies. She also noticed you and Natty hanging out, so she asked her if she'd be willing to escort you into town for your first trip, which she gladly agreed. You're going to need a guide so she can point out Victor Rookwood's men. He's a dangerous wizard with a following of criminals. Then she tells you to head out. The sooner you leave, the sooner you can have a couple butterbeers at the 3 Broomsticks. Meeting up with Natty by the door to the outside, she said she was already planning on inviting you out for a drink when Professor Weasley asked her to accompany you.
And to be clear, grabbing a couple beers in high school, legal here?
It's butterbeer. It is such a low alcohol content, and also in England, there are rules about, like, kids can drink, I think, cider drinks, which are low in alcohol content as long as they're eating at, like, a certain age. It's weird. England has just different rules about drinking.
I mean, like, I'd end the school day by having a few beers with my friends, too.
Yeah. But
I
yours
didn't get
wasn't legal.
Yeah.
This is just, like, at the bar as a student.
I dangerously found out that if you get an extra large drink at Taco Bell, you could put a full tall boy of beer in there. God. And then just, hey, you'll have to drink your beer through a straw, but then you can walk around school drinking. That was bad. I'm not going to advocate for anything else again.
Don't teach these kids bad decision making.
All right, what's the Oblivion?
Obliviate.
Yeah, Obliviate.
Natty says that most people would tell you that Hogsmeade is best in the winter, but she hates the snow, having grown up in Uganda. Leaving the school grounds, the 2 of you run through the shockingly vast open world this game has to offer. Honestly, I thought I would be exploring Hogwarts and maybe Hogsmeade, but this game has an enormous map that includes several wizarding villages and boroughs.
Oh, how happy were you to explore that?
Oh my god, it was so big. Like, couldn't believe how large this map was.
Does the Hogsmeade and Hogwarts map kind of match what you have in the movies?
Yeah, those match very much. So, like, with Hogwarts specifically, yeah, they took all of the same design elements that they used in the movies, but they also built out Hogwarts 400 times the size that they showed in the movies.
Well, they have to do all the connections and all the extra secret shit that you don't actually get to see on screen. That's fucking great.
Truly. And I've played a few, like, Harry Potter games, and to their credit, like, Hogwarts is always huge in those games.
Right.
But this is unlike anything else.
Hell yeah.
While traversing the countryside, Natty points out a couple hippogriffs flying out of the nearby forbidden forest. Beautiful, winged creatures with horse-like bodies and giant eagle heads. They soar majestically across the blue sky. Natty wonders why Professor Weasley asked her to escort you, and you tell her that she said Natty knows these parts better than most people, which surprised you considering she's so new. She's surprised to find out Professor Weasley knows so much about her, because the truth is, Natty doesn't like being cooped up in the castle. She prefers the outdoors and explores every chance she can get, partly because she didn't have friends, but mostly because she just wanted to know as much as she could about her new home. Once you arrive in Hogsmeade, Natty lets you go off on your own to collect your goods, excited to see the magic you'll be able to do with a wand all of your own. At Mr. Ollivander's, you meet the wand maker himself, descended from a long line of Ollivanders who were also wand makers. He's been expecting you, and offers you a few wands that all backfire tremendously after you give them a flick. Finally, he pulls a package from his wall, offering you to take it, giving you a chance to customize your wand, from design to wood type, including the magical element contained within that gives the wand its magical properties, such as dragon heartstring, phoenix feather, or unicorn hair.
Those are all vape flavors.
I bet they are, honestly. Or they're like men's cologne.
Men's scents come in 3 things: nature, materials, and concepts.
And just a concept. Once the wand is in your hand, it glows bright, choosing you as its master. For the wand chooses the wizard, after all. You round up your other supplies from the shops and meet up with Natty in the town center. She doesn't want to head back yet, asking if you want to take a stroll. But a giant, armor-clad troll comes crashing into the square, wielding a big-ass club.
You hang out anywhere enough, the trolls are going to come out.
Everyone in the town square pulls out their wands and begins firing spells at the creature, who chases a group of adult wizards down a side alley. The two of you catch your breath when a second troll bursts through a building and charges at you. The armor it's wearing glows black and red, like you saw on the dragon and the grumpy Gringotts Goblin Guard.
Gee whiz.
Alone in the center of town, you and Natty battle the troll. When you wear it down, your wand pulses in your hand, glowing blue, and you're given the prompt to invoke ancient magic on the beast.
Whoa!
Firing a blast at the hulking troll, it explodes into ashes.
Wait, that's very violent.
The local cop, a woman named Officer Singer, noticed you take down the troll all by yourself and commends you on a job well done, asking if you'd mind helping her magically repair the damage left behind by the two attacking trolls, to which you oblige.
You did such a great job exploding the troll.
Now fix this shit.
Yeah, now I have work for you.
After killing a troll, Natty suggests the two of you calm your nerves at the Three Broomsticks with a butterbeer.
Let's knock one back, kiddo.
The Three Broomsticks is run by Sirona, who Natty describes as a powerful witch and a useful person to know. On the way, though, you see a mysterious man in a top hat go down an alley. Curious by his constant looking around, you follow him.
Don't do that.
And see that he's meeting up with Ranrock the Goblin.
That's not your business.
He's upset at the man in the hat, saying that he was supposed to grab the child when they came to Hogsmeade. All he needed was a distraction. Ranrock gave him 2. What the hell happened? The man, named Victor Rookwood, says that his distraction got murked by said child, asking what Ranrock isn't telling him about this kid. Ranrock tells Rookwood that if he can't get to the child, then he's of no use to him. Worried that they're talking about you, the two of you take off running and hide in the Three Broomsticks, hoping they didn't notice.
And they 100% are talking about you, so good move.
Inside the bar, you immediately meet the owner, Sirona. A character who, in my own personal opinion and not verified by anything, is Avalanche's response to Robert Galbraith's transphobia.
Oh.
As she is an androgynous witch with a distinctly deep and arguably masculine voice. The actress performing the character is a cis woman, though. She heard about you taking down the troll and offers to buy your first round.
This happened 4 minutes ago. She just watched it happen out the window.
The entire fucking town knows. She's impressed that you were able to single-handedly kill one, which really is such a departure from the Harry Potter series in general. You straight up murder some bad guys in this game, and they don't dance around it.
Yeah, you killed that person.
It's kind of like the Wild West, where, yeah, sometimes when you duel, people die. Rookwood enters the bar, asking Sirona if he just saw a goblin leaving this establishment, wondering what happened to the caliber of customer this place used to have.
Whoa.
She says that as soon as he leaves, it will increase greatly.
Yeah, girl.
Rookwood smiles, saying to calm down, he's just here for this one, pointing at you.
Excuse my racism. I'm here to steal a child now. Leave me alone, barkeep.
Sirona says that you're enjoying a well-earned butterbeer and to leave her bar at once. Rookwood moves toward you, and every single person in the bar stands, pointing their wand at him menacingly.
Whoa.
Sirona says, perhaps you didn't hear me. My friend is busy. Rookwood turns to leave with his crony, saying this place is dead anyway. Once he's gone, Sirona warns you that for whatever reason, you've made a very dangerous enemy. Worse than that troll you defeated at any rate. Natty asks just what the fuck is going on with you?
Natty has regrets. Natty was nice to the exchange student, and now he's like, I watched a troll explode. And you know what? I found out that's not even the most traumatic thing that happened to my new friend today, who started their day by watching a man get eaten by a flying dragon.
That was yesterday, to be fair, but yeah.
Yesterday. I'm so sorry. Last 48 hours, I'll give you a big wide window. This is not a good friend to have, Natty.
She wonders, what have you not told her about that has caused trolls, goblins, and mob bosses to come after you? You promised to tell her the tale of your trip to Hogwarts, just not in a crowded bar. The two of you head back to the castle, as she's certain Professor Weasley will have heard about the troll attack and will be worried sick. After relaying what happened, you head straight to Professor Fig to tell him about Ranrock and Rookwood working together to try and kidnap you. Fig says that the armor the troll was wearing is made of goblin silver, which is how Ranrock is controlling anything wearing it. In his research, Fig also found an enchanted map of Hogwarts, but he can't figure out where it's trying to lead. It's basically just a blueprint. You point to the library's restricted section, saying that it's glowing, which Fig can't see. He agrees to go with, and just as you two are about to head out, the headmaster bursts into the room demanding Professor Fig come with him at once. He tells you that your foray into the library will have to wait until after, and falls behind Professor Black. Out in the hallways, a Slytherin student named Sebastian Sallow gets your attention, saying he saw what happened in the Three Broomsticks.
Wait, I'm sorry. Slytherin's the bad, they're the evil ones?
They're the evil ones.
And they put an SS kid in there?
Oh my god.
There's more than one commentary in this. Give you that.
Don't get started on the goblins. Anyway. He wonders what you did to get someone so dangerous's attention so quickly. Not sure if you can trust a Slytherin, even if you're a fellow one. You tell him it was just a case of mistaken identity. He's like, okay, pal, whatever you say, wink, wink. But if you ever need a hand with Rookwood, let him know. Deciding to test his trustworthiness, you ask him to help you get a book out of the restricted section of the library. A classic Hogwarts heist. One that Sebastian has pulled off once or twice before.
How common are heists in this school?
That's why it's a classic heist.
Okay.
He says that avoiding the librarian is doable. It's Peeves the Poltergeist that's the issue. Peeves is a character that was left out of the movies. He's similar to a ghost, except he was never alive. Taking the form of a Mad Hatter-like entity, he's the manifestation of the energy of a bunch of hormonal teenage magical children hell-bent on causing nonstop chaos wherever he goes.
Horny hormone monster?
It's not the horny side, it's just that, like, angry side.
Angsty
side, yeah.
Monster? Jesus Christ.
He loves to hunt down students who are out of bounds and rat on them. So it's best to go at night when there's the least amount of security. Then he teaches you how to cast a disillusionment spell, which turns you transparent. Not quite invisible, just see-through. With a little bit of teamwork, the two of you distract the librarian and sneak your way into the restricted section. While down there, you bump into a suit of armor and it falls, causing a loud crash. This causes Peeves to fly in saying, "Naughty, naughty, you'll get caughty,"
Oh my
as he
God.
flies off to tell the librarian.
Ew, I don't like that phrase.
Sebastian tells you to keep going. He'll double back and talk his way out of it. He has a way with words that the staff of this school seems to love. Plus, he likes it when people are in his debt. Wishing you luck on the rest of your mission. Heading deeper into the restricted section, you're drawn to a hidden doorway that leads deep into a chamber underneath the school. Enchanted Armor is this game's favorite lifeless bad guy for you to fight. And after you take out a platoon of them, you enter a chamber where a book is floating in its center. It's hovering over a pensieve, and when you approach it, the book opens up, tilts forward, and pours out a silvery substance into the basin. The book vanishes, magically appearing in your inventory, and you plunge your head into the bowl as a swirling silvery mist surrounds you once more. You see the two wizards you witnessed building the temple, the young bald one, Professor Charles Rookwood, and the older Professor Percival Rackham. They're joined by another wizard, a mildly darker-skinned man in a blue turban named Professor San Bakar, as well as a middle-aged witch, wearing muted pinks and reds, with her hair up in a tight braided bun, the school's headmistress, Professor Neem Fitzgerald. They are walking through a wasteland and come upon a famine-ravaged village. The commoners are starving, and the wells have dried up.
Ugh.
Rackham turns to his fellows, and silently, they agree that these people need their help. Pointing his wand in the air, he calls down rain from the sky above. The others join and use the cover of the storm to magically restore the entire farming community to its former green and thriving glory.
Aww.
All but one of the muggles in the village are too distracted by the long-needed rain to notice or care that the green came back so quickly. The one standout being a little girl who happened to see the four people, holding sticks in the air, seemingly controlling the weather. Satisfied, the four turn and leave the normies to figure it out from there. The scene shifts, and the four are at Hogwarts. Professor Rackham behind his large desk, with the others on the opposite side. They welcome a relatively new student into the room, named Isadora Morganaw. She is a unique case, being a brand new student as a fifth year.
Oh.
Professor Rackham reveals that he too started as a fifth year, saying that outside of the two of them, he's never heard of it happening otherwise. Everyone hopes that Isadora is adjusting well to her new surroundings. She says she is having a great time so far, and that the school is already starting to feel like home to her. Professor Rookwood says that when he first came to tell her about her ability to use magic, she mentioned seeing blue swirls in the air years prior during a storm. She admits that she saw the four of them standing on a hilltop as a small child, drawn by the magic they were casting. Everyone just told her she was crazy when she said so. Rackham explains that he's the only other wizard who can also see the traces of ancient magic being used,
This is very rare.
which is what they were using to help restore the valley. Isadora asks if that means if she can also cast ancient magic, and Rackham promises to give her personal lessons after she passes her OWLs at the end of the year, telling her to study hard.
He said, earn it.
Headmistress Fitzgerald tells Isadora that this whole situation is so rare, it would be best not to tell anyone else. It's so uncommon, they don't even teach about it, and kids let their imaginations run wild when it comes to things they don't understand. Of course, she doesn't say that second part, which would have been fantastic context to tell the teenage girl, who then turns and walks away with a wicked grin across her face.
Uh-oh.
You're pulled out of the memory and decide to hightail it out of there. You get back to the entrance of the library, where you hear Sebastian getting his ass chewed out by the librarian. She is shouting that Peeves informs him that he had an accomplice with him, saying that his punishment will be far less severe if he turns in his partner. Sebastian stares her down for a few seconds thinking, then says that he came alone tonight, proving his trustworthiness.
Hell yeah, no snitches.
The next morning, you go to Professor Fig's office to show him the book you found. He chooses to ignore how you got into the restricted section and opens it to find a few pages missing from the center, saying someone else had gotten to it first. He informs you that he's being called away to the ministry for a hearing on the death of George Osric, just to answer some questions because George did speak out about the rising danger of Ranrock very recently, which they had ignored. So there's an investigation now. Fig says he'll study the book on the trip, and that you should study your school books because you're still a student and need to learn some shit. To the game's credit, it does its best to make classes fun. You get to mix ingredients for buffs and heals in potions class, grow carnivorous plants for attacks in herbology,
Ooh.
or learn how to properly pronounce Wingardium Leviosa in charms class. Since you only have one close friend, you go to speak with Natty, deciding to immediately ignore what the headmistress said in the flashback and confide in her about everything. From the dragon attack, Gringotts, the Pensieves, everything. Coming to the end, explaining that this guy, Victor Rookwood, has the same last name as one of the people in the memories, figuring that it all must be connected somehow. She's like, damn, that's crazy. Well, now our times Rookwood has seen her with you, so she's probably going to be in danger now too. A big reason her mother took this teaching job is because there were very dangerous people overtaking their homeland, both Muggle and Wizard alike.
Oh no.
And they wanted to run away from that. But seeing you butcher a troll in the middle of the street, then Serona the barkeep stand up to Victor Rookwood and his little sidekick Theophilus Harlow, Natty decided she's not going to run away from dangerous men anymore.
Hell yeah, girl.
Her first instinct was to go to Officer Singer to tell her about Rookwood and Harlow. But for some reason, the cops didn't trust the Ugandan girl.
Huh.
So she suggests the two of you try to find some evidence on Theophilus Harlow. He's the business manager for Rookwood's criminal empire.
Oh.
Meaning he beats up people and demands money to protect them from getting beaten up.
For such a secretive society, everyone knows each other's business.
They do, right? But I mean, that's also how the mob works. It's like, oh, we're so secret. Everybody fucking knows who they are.
All right.
But it's not like wizards have iPhones to catch crimes being committed. So she decides to go poke around and see if she can get any hard evidence that a syndicate exists. Assuming that it's a lack of tangible evidence keeping the cops off the case, and no other reason at all.
Oh, you sweet angel.
In the meantime, you walk straight through the Gryffindor house ghost, Sir Nicholas de Mimsy Porpington, better known as Nearly Headless Nick.
His last name is Porpington?
Porpington.
Oh, I like the way that sounds.
I like that, and I like Theophilus too, just to say, like, I thought that was a pretty cool name.
Theophilus.
Toot
toot. Theophilus. That sounds like the name of like a tiny Scotty dog or something.
Oh, yeah.
It feels small but royal.
Well, he's called Nearly Headless Nick due to the fact his head dangles by a tiny flap of skin after a botched beheading from using a blunt axe.
Oh, that's gory.
Figuring this ghost is old as fuck, you ask if he knows anything about the missing pages from your book. He does not know where the pages are, but he knows the ghost who will. His name is Richard Jackdaw, and he had them when he was alive.
Dick Jackdaw?
I never made that connection. That's pretty good.
That's a porn star name. Dick Dagdaw? What? No.
Nearly Headless Nick happens to be going to a party Jackdaw should be attending as a member of the Headless Hunt, a ghostly social group that refuses to allow someone who is nearly headless into their ranks. He says that if you bring an offering of rancid food, you can come to the party with him.
Ew.
Now, ghosts can't eat, but they all miss food terribly. The theory is that they enjoy rotting food because it's the most pungent and they can almost taste it when they pass through it. But I think it's just because it doesn't fucking matter and you might as well not waste good food on a ghost.
Fair.
But anyway, you fetch quest some spoiled meat from the house elves in the school kitchens and venture out to the haunted party. You quickly realize Nick was not invited, and that he thought bringing a student bearing an offering would grant him access. But he was clearly wrong, as he's escorted away immediately.
Really hit with like a, please don't embarrass me in front of the students, and they're like, we could not give two shits. Absolutely not, Nicholas.
No, oh god, the Headless Hunt. They are always so mean to Nearly Headless Nick. Even in the books, they don't care about him at all. They love ripping on him for not being completely headless. But you're allowed to hang out, having brought the food.
Oh, you can get that is so mean. Fuck, they do not like Nick at all.
No, they do not.
Oh.
You find Jackdaw playing some headless hide and seek. It's a game where you hide just the head. And he tells you that the missing pages are with his corpse. He died following them to the next part of the trial. It must have been a booby trap or something, because all he felt was a light breeze, and suddenly he was a headless ghost.
Why do I feel like that's how I'm gonna die someday?
He offers to take you to where it was, but warns you that involves lots of puzzle solving and enchantments he had to overcome to get there. It's been so long, he doesn't really remember what to expect. It's a bit of a way off campus, and you have to locate a cave deep within the surrounding forest just to find the entrance. Jackdaw leaves you at the mouth, since he can't really remember how to get through the rest anyway, saying that he'd rather not see his own skeleton.
Oh.
Deep inside the cave, you find his headless corpse, driven through by a series of swords.
Ooh.
You thank his body for keeping the pages warm for you, and remove them, inspecting them for clues on what to do next now that you're in this cave.
That's a pretty dark thing to say to a corpse.
I know, right?
Like, that feels a little macabre for this moment.
He talked to the actual guy just like 10 minutes earlier, so.
Eh.
As you look at the pages, you start to feel a breeze, and you ready yourself.
Oh no, you're gonna die.
A bunch of enchanted suits of armor attack, and you fight your way through them.
Oh, okay.
Once defeated, an archway that looks like a wooden vine that had grown up and over appears, along with a magical portal in its center. Stepping through, you find yourself in a grand empty hall, 60 feet high with no windows and no doors.
Dun dun dun.
Surrounding you are 4 paintings stretching from floor to 6-story ceiling.
Wait, are you testing me?
Nope.
I feel like you're trying to see if I'm paying attention and if I can discern Harry Potter from the Haunted Mansion. And I'll tell you, on the second line, you got me.
Right. But these paintings are just simple backgrounds with nobody in the frame.
No, there's the girl on the thing, and then the alligator's trying to eat her.
Yeah.
There's the 3 guys. I know what's happening.
Upon your arrival, a burst of energy overtakes the place, and Percival Rackham steps into the portrait furthest to the left, wondering if at long last, another person can see ancient magic. You geek out over your favorite Pensy performer and approach his canvas. He welcomes you to what he calls the map chamber, and is shocked someone so young has made it this far. You tell him that you're the same age both he and Isadora Morganaw were when they started Hogwarts. He asks if you can also see ancient magic, and you confirm that you can. He congratulates you on making it here, and tells you to place the book on a pedestal in the center of the room so you can begin the trials. You tell him that you don't actually have the book, just these pages. He says that until you bring the rest of the book, you can't continue on to the next section. You promise that you at least know where the book is and say that you'll return with it shortly. Professor Rackham reveals a magical doorway, and when you step through it, you find yourself down a random hallway in Hogwarts.
Oh, he said go back to class.
Since Professor Fig is in London, you decide to focus on your studies. With Quidditch cancelled, more students are taking to flying around the school on broomsticks, as it's the only activity remotely close to Quidditch allowed.
They're so bored. They're like, let's just fucking do laps, man.
So you're not the only 5th year at your flying tutorial later the next day. Fortunately, you take to it with ease and are soon zipping around the castle at high speed.
Do you have one of those fancy broomsticks?
You can, yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, you can save up a lot of money.
The Nimbus 1.
This opens up mounted travel for you, and you can fly pretty much anywhere outdoors from here forward. You can also upgrade your brooms by offering yourself as a crash test dummy for the local broom maker's new enchantments and add-ons.
You could sell your body?
Yeah, basically.
It is the world's oldest profession.
Yeah.
All right.
You eventually bump into Sebastian Sallow, and he reveals that he managed to get out of any trouble with the librarian in the end. He asks if you got what you were after, and you say that you did, but you can't tell him about it where you might be overheard. So he takes you to his secret hideout, a room he calls the Undercroft.
I don't like where this is going.
It's a location unique to the game, not found in the books or movies. It's basically a hidden storage room that nobody uses because it requires a bit of dark magic to get inside.
Oh.
Sebastian Sallow, being a Slytherin, he isn't afraid of a little dark magic, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone. Once inside the cavernous storage locker, he reveals it was discovered by his friend, the very appropriately named Ominous Gaunt.
They made a baby. They looked at that baby and they said, that shit looks ominous. And they wrote that on the birth certificate.
Well, that last name means he's a relative of future supervillain Lord Voldemort.
Grampy Voldemort is here, and his first name is ominous.
Yep.
Yeah, wipe out the bloodline. Not everyone has to reproduce. Some people can be child-free, and it's fine. Voldemort.
Sebastian says that he and Ominous used to use this space to play popular wizarding game Gobstones, which is basically exploding marbles, along with his sister Anne.
When they did the most wholesome shit with a kid named Ominous. Like, we used to play marbles together.
Well, Sebastian says that he would do anything to lose to his sister just one more time.
Oh, he can see the horses, can he?
Well, long story short, there's a series of side quests involving Sebastian and his sister Anne, who has been cursed by dark magic and is too sick to return to school.
Oh, poor girl.
It's tragic and heartbreaking and totally worth doing, but it has nothing to do with the main quest line, which is all we cover on this series. Because we do like to leave people plenty to discover for themselves should they decide to play any of the games we cover on the show after hearing about it, which is something we receive DMs and emails about constantly. Truly, I wish there was a way to get a cut of it because we sell a shitload of games for these companies. Sebastian promised Ominous to keep the Undercroft protected from anyone discovering, so he asked for your discretion, begging you not to tell anyone that he showed it to you. You tell Sebastian that you believe Ominous is in a couple of your classes. You ask if he's a blind wizard who uses his wand to navigate the school. He says that's him, explaining that he was born blind and not a spell in existence can reverse it.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
But by holding out his wand, it directs him like a dogless guide dog.
Hmm.
It's almost like his wand is more alive than that of other wizards, since the guidance implies sentience. Sebastian says that the Undercroft is really special to Ominous, and he needs it to hide away. You ask why he needs to hide, and Sebastian explains that Ominous is a direct descendant of one of the founders of Hogwarts, Salazar Slytherin.
Whoa.
His entire family is obsessed with their pureblood status, and Ominous hates them for that fact. But his surname causes people to assume the worst of him, so he shuts everyone out and comes here to be as alone as he can. Now the two of them practice spells that are otherwise forbidden at Hogwarts. Mild dark magic that they believe can be wielded for good.
What's like a gentle dark spell?
A great example would be the blasting spell Confringo. If something is in your way that can't be moved, just destroy it. So he teaches you the spell, should it come in handy later.
It will.
Since the two of you are getting along so well, you decide to open up a bit to him about what's been going on with you, as he's very much figured out that you lied to him about Rookwood mistaking you for someone else. You don't give him the full truth, but enough to let him know that you're hunting something, and that Rookwood and Ranrock are trying to find it first. He appreciates you opening up to him and tells you to keep practicing Confringo. You can use it on enemies too in really dire circumstances. Stepping out of the Undercroft, you bump into Ominous Gaunt, who mistakes you for Sebastian since he's the only other person that knows about it. He recognizes your voice from class as the new student and asks how you got into the Undercroft. You try to cover for Sebastian as he had done for you, but Ominous, despite being blind, can see right through you, saying that if you tell anyone about this place, not even Professor Fig will be able to help you. Ominous's father is a close friend of the headmaster, and he's not afraid to exploit that connection if needed.
His friend was really just like, he tries to downplay the Nepo part of it, and his first reaction is to immediately play the daddy card.
Jump to it right away, right?
I don't know if his friend can like read the situation well.
He's still a Slytherin at the end of the day. Like, well, you promise not to say a word, and Ominous storms off into the Undercroft to give Sebastian a piece of his mind about showing you the secret room. Speaking of secret rooms, Professor Weasley reaches out to you with an opportunity to get some extra study time. She asks you to meet on the 7th floor corridor, across from the painting of trolls doing ballet. You get there early and begin pacing back and forth, looking for a room to practice magic. Suddenly, a door appears on the stone wall. Professor Weasley comes around a corner saying, "Oh good, you already found the room of requirement." It's a room that only appears when someone is in need. Her friend Deke the house elf should be inside, and he'll help you set up the room so you can practice magic. When you find Deke, Professor explains that she met Deke her second year as a student at Hogwarts,
Aw,
and they've been friends ever since.
cute.
The two of them discovered the Room of Requirement that same year, and she had him help her practice magic here, something she credits as the reason she's such a skilled witch. Deke is excited to have a new student, and he helps you customize the room to fit your needs and aesthetics. From there, it becomes a sort of home base for you going forward, somewhere to regroup, and you can design it however you like, really. You can brew potions that you've learned in class, grow plants for ingredients. You can even capture magical beasts out in the wild and bring them back here for safekeeping.
Oh,
After leaving the Room of Requirement, you go to see if Professor Fig has returned yet from London. You tell him all about Jackdaw and the missing pages, as well as the hidden temple with the giant empty paintings, saying you need to bring the book to it. He excitedly agrees, and the two of you head off. In the chamber, the 4 paintings are empty, except for the backgrounds. The ground is a large, shiny opal circle with nothing on it. Placing the book down on a pedestal on the floor's edge, a magical energy releases. The ground begins to glow, and becomes a map of Hogwarts and the surrounding area.
ooh.
Fig wipes away a tear, saying he really wishes his wife could have been here to see this.
Oh,
While you and Fig walk around the giant floor map, Professor Rackham enters his frame. You greet him and introduce Professor Fig, saying you now understand why this place is called the Map Chamber. Rackham explains that he and the other members of the Keepers are called so as they are the keepers of knowledge to the ancient magics. They created 4 trials to prove the worthiness of the next person to have this knowledge passed down. This map will highlight the location of each trial as you progress through them. You ask why the entire fucking journey up to this point wasn't one of the trials, because people died on the way here.
I'm like, solid evidence of it. Come on.
And he says that while it's impressive you've made it this far, the trials themselves are a lot harder.
Hogwarts loves pageantry.
They do,
Our
yeah.
best friend told us that.
But it's important, because this magic is way too powerful to allow it to fall into the wrong hands. Fig says, that's great and all, but with all due respect, we don't have time. Rackham laughs, saying it's been a few hundred years already. What's a few more days or weeks?
Time moves different for me.
Fig tells him about the dark magic being used to control people and creatures, and it does rattle Rackham, saying that you better get started then because there's no workaround.
Rattle rack 'em.
Saying that Professor Fig can help you locate the trials, but that only a person with the ability to see ancient magic will be able to complete them. So you'll be on your own once they begin. The first trial is inside an abandoned tower just north of Hogsmeade. Professor Fig always thought it was a landmark. Clearly it's something else entirely, telling him to meet you at the tower itself on your broomstick. When you arrive, you find the tower crawling with goblins, all there by order of Ranrock. Told that they're there to find something, but nobody is told what they were looking for, only they know it when they find it. You can sneak attack them or openly fight, it's your choice really. Once inside the tower, you start searching when you find a portrait containing Professor Rackham. In the wizarding world, if a person has more than one painting of themselves, they can travel to any of them at their leisure.
That's so cool.
He's shocked to see that Ranrock's forces are here, meaning that the whole running out of time thing is actually true. But he and the other keepers never thought there would be a time crunch when they designed these trials, and there's no way to speed up the process outside of just fucking doing them. Rackham tells Fig that there's nothing more he can do for you here, and tells him that the exit to the trial will take you back to the map chamber, and that he and Fig will be waiting for you there. With that, Fig wishes you luck, and disapparates out of there. The trials are deep underground in a very beautiful chamber made of precious smooth stones, where you fight a bunch of enchanted armor and solve some puzzles with your ever-increasing number of magic spells. Eventually, you find a cavernous room containing a 100-foot-tall stone statue of Percival Rackham himself. As you enter the chamber, a tear forms in the eye of the statue and falls into a pensieve located directly underneath it. An item magically appears in front of you, but you're unsure what it is, only that it's swirling with magic, so you pocket it for safekeeping. After, you dive your face into the swirling mist and get sucked into another memory. Professor Rackham is giving Isadora Morganaw her promised lessons in ancient magic, watching her magically construct the temple you and Fig found at the start of your adventure. She stops, though, sad. Rackham asks what's wrong, and she says that the drought he had stopped all those years ago, well, she lost a brother before he had done that.
Oh.
Her father never recovered mentally from it, even with everything she's been able to do for the family with magic since then. She's confused, wondering why she can create an entire building, but she can't take away her father's mental anguish.
Honey.
Rackham understands the confusion this child is having, saying that magic should never be used to manipulate another person, be it their actions or emotions, even if you think it will help. Isadora doesn't understand. She can do magic. She can make anything happen. But all she can do is sit back and watch her dad suffer? The memory fades, and several years later, Professors Rackham and Rookwood are in an office at Hogwarts having a chat. They stop talking as a witch enters the room to excitedly welcome the newly appointed Professor Morganaw to their ranks as the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher.
Aww.
A young adult Isadora enters the room, saying it's going to take some time getting used to hearing that name. She asks that the four keepers join her in her home that evening to celebrate, so she can regale them with the tales of her many adventures since leaving Hogwarts as a student. But you don't get to see the dinner, as the memory concludes and you pull your head back out of the basin. You find the portal back to the map chamber and step through it, where you see Fig and Rackham waiting for you. Just as you approach, Charles Rookwood enters one of the empty portraits, wondering who you are. This is not the Rookwood from your current time. You introduce yourself as the one who completed the first task. You ask about the mysterious object that appeared above the pensieve, and he explains that each trial will have an item you must collect. After you have them all, the keepers will tell you what to do with them. You ask for a clue for the next trial, and he's a little taken aback. That's not how trials work.
You're not supposed to be prepped for it.
Rackham informs him of the goblin problem, saying that you kind of need to speedrun this shit. Hearing this, Charles says that they can instead just cancel all trials and make it impossible for anyone to reach the end, good or evil. At least until they know more about what Ranrock is doing and how far along he's gotten. The complete opposite of speedrunning the trials.
Right.
You tell Professor Fig that you saw Sirona the barmaid speaking with a goblin at the Three Broomsticks in a friendly manner before Rookwood showed up. Maybe you can get an introduction and see if he knows anything. The next day, you head to the bar to ask about the goblin she was chatting with. Sirona used to serve tables here at night and on the weekends while she attended Hogwarts, and has known him since then. Lodgok is his name. He doesn't trust wizards typically, but because he's known Sirona so long, he's become cordial with her over the years. He even recognized her right away when she bought the bar a few years ago. Which is more than she can say of some of her old classmates. They took a while to realize she's actually a witch, not a wizard. And that line is genuinely in the game.
Oh.
They truly confirm Sirona is a transgender character with this line. She says that Lodgok is no fan of Ranrock and fully disagrees with his attempts to overthrow wizard kind. So you ask where you can find him, hoping he will know more about their plans, given he's a goblin himself and might have insider information. She tells you that he's a metal merchant and sells his wares around town, suggesting you try the Hog's Head to find him. If the Three Broomsticks is the town's popular hangout, the Hog's Head is the local dive bar.
There's dive bars in wizard culture? That's great.
At least one. Sirona also suggests you mention her name when you find Lodgok, as he still doesn't trust humans, but he'll be more open to someone she sends his way. You ask her why she wasn't afraid of Rookwood and his little side bitch Harlow the other day, and she says they're nothing more than really dangerous bullies. Yes, they can hurt or even kill you, but that doesn't mean people shouldn't stand up to their bullshit and remind them that when groups band together, they can stop anyone.
Yes, girl.
So she treats them the same way she has treated bullies her whole life. That being said, wizard and goblin friendships like the one she has with Lodgok are extremely rare, which means Rookwood and Ranrock are only working together out of convenience. That partnership is primed for destruction, and she suggests you find a way to exploit that fact to take them down.
I love her.
Oh, a Sirona's the best.
My Sirona.
At the Hog's Head, you find Lodgok and introduce yourself as a friend of Sirona. He says that he had a falling out with Ranrock years ago over an ancient goblin relic that ended up in the hands of a witch, saying that if you steal one back, he can use it to quote-unquote repair his relationship with Ranrock and get the inside scoop on his plans. Something that needs to be understood about goblins in this world is their beliefs on ownership.
Okay.
If a wizard hires and pays a goblin to create something like a sword or even artwork, the wizard sees it as being their property since they paid for it. But a goblin sees it as goblin property, being lent to the wizard until they die.
So I'm assuming goblins live a long time and are just like, you owe me that shit back.
It doesn't even have to be the same goblin. It's like two goblin kind. You have to return it to the goblins in general.
Very community based.
Yeah. So once you die, that item's supposed to go back to them. Wizards, however, tend to pass down their possessions to their family members in their wills, and never return the goblin-made items. Hence, one of the main reasons goblins and wizards have never gotten along.
Because of inheritance rules?
Yeah, they both have very different rules in terms of ownership.
These people got torn apart like bad siblings after a parent dies. That's wild.
No, the goblins are just the cable company being like, you have to give us back our cable box now. The trinket in question that you're after is a battle helmet that the witch had buried with her when she died. Only a wizard can retrieve it, as she cast a bunch of anti-goblin enchantments around her tomb. You wonder why Rookwood doesn't fetch it for Ranrock. And Lodgok points out that it could only mean Ranrock doesn't trust Rookwood enough to tell him about it. Which should make you feel at ease with Lodgok, because it means he trusts you more than Ranrock trusts his partner in crime.
I'm not at ease with anything, especially these naming conventions.
Oh my god.
You're doing a great job. A lot of these sound very similar.
Too many R names.
It's tricky to keep straight.
This helmet in particular is special to all goblins, as it was never even purchased by a wizard. It was stolen after a battle. It symbolizes everything that wizards have taken from them over centuries of strife. It's the holy grail as far as goblins are concerned. If Lodgok can return it directly to Ranrock, he'll be praised to the point of having full access to whatever he wants.
Oh, wow. They're a prideful people.
They very much are, yeah. You search the tomb while Lodgok waits outside, only to find it empty and one of Rookwood's men's fresh corpse near where it should have been found. Back outside, Lodgok realizes Rookwood must be better friends with Ranrock than he expected, and said he saw smoke from a nearby camp while waiting, and suggests you check there to see if his men are still nearby. They are, so you subdue them and steal the helmet back. Lodgok calls them lucky, saying there isn't a goblin alive who wouldn't have slaughtered those men to get the helmet back. He takes it from you, saying he will go to Ranrock and regain his favor. Then he'll send you a message once he's back on the inside. In the meantime, you hear from Natty, saying she's managed to follow Rookwood's little bitch boy Theophilus Harlow to the Hog's Head and spied on him. She wants to take him down, and figures since he is involved with Rookwood, you probably want to as well. She saw Harlow reading a letter written by Rookwood, giving him instruction to conduct illegal activity.
Oh.
She wants to steal the letter so she can turn it over to the police as evidence of wrongdoing.
I want to steal this for the cops.
The two of you catch up to him poaching a couple hippogriffs and keeping them captive.
Ooh, a hippogriff.
The two of you steal the needed letter, then rescue the captured magical beasts. In doing so, teaching you how to ride them for the rest of the game as well.
Fun.
Once they're free, Natty triumphantly heads off to deliver the letter to Officer Singer so she can shut down Harlow's crime syndicate. You return to the map chamber to find Professor Fig asking Rackham for advice on teaching a student who possesses the power of ancient magic, as you've begun to harness it in ways he doesn't understand, calling down extreme power to defeat some of your adversaries during battles. But your presence ends the conversation as the two realize you're there. Professor Rookwood says that he visited his portrait at Rookwood Castle, which happens to be the location of the next trial. When he got there, he found it covered in goblins, and is worried that it won't matter if they shut down the trials. They seem to be finding each of them without the map to the next one, saying the only way to stop them is to get there first. You decide that this is probably the best time to inform him that his direct descendant, Victor Rookwood, is working with Ranrock. This upsets Charles, saying that Castle Rookwood has a lot of secrets and powers outside the trials that he does not want falling into the wrong hands, and asks you to hurry so you can clear it out and protect its hidden wonders. The two of you sneak fight your way through the front gates of the castle, taking out goblins and dark wizards alike. Finally, you find Rookwood and Ranrock arguing. Victor saying that he tracked that cylinder for months, only to have Ranrock's dumbass dragon attack the carriage and get it lost. Ranrock spits back that the moment you got on the carriage, it was all fucked. The second it crosses into Hogwarts grounds, it would be impossible to get back. Which, guess what? It has crossed into Hogwarts and is proving impossible to get back. The dragon was a last-ditch effort. Rookwood says that Ranrock is lucky he has allowed him to dig underneath his family home. Ranrock laughs, saying that Rookwood is here because he's related to a keeper. The moment that's no longer useful, then neither is Rookwood. Ranrock begins to glow red across the armor he's wearing, and threatens, saying that unless Rookwood wants a dose of his newfound power, then he better find that child and bring them to him. They separate off, so you sneak into the castle to find the next trial. Inside, you find a portrait of Charles Rookwood, who is very upset by what's going down in his home, his ancestral home. The magic that Ranrock is wielding can only mean something he is hoping isn't true. Telling you to go complete the trial, and he'll explain back at the map chamber what he means. You complete the trial, and at the end, you see another giant crying statue, this one being Rookwood, that releases a memory into a pensieve. Another object appears to add to your inventory, and then you faceplant into the foggy bowl to view the past. It picks up right after the last one, with members of the Keepers approaching Isadora's home to celebrate her becoming a teacher. She answers the door before anyone can even knock, excited to have her old mentors here.
Aww.
She invites everyone in and tells them to take a seat. She has something to show them. Opening a door, an older man walks in looking forlorn. She says that he's her father, and he hasn't spoken a word since her brother died years and years ago. While on her travels, she discovered that magic does, in fact, have the power to remove a person's emotional pain.
Whoa.
She touches the tip of her wand to his chest, and a crackling black and red energy transfers from his body to her wand, which she then puts into an enchanted jar that she seals shut. Her dad begins to moan, and his breathing becomes heavy, but then steadies. Rackham stands, saying that this is untested magic, and we have no idea what else she just pulled out of him. Isadora's father stands up and says thank you to his daughter, ending the memory.
Whoa, that is an ethical landmine.
No shit, right?
Oh, I would 100% do that, though. God damn.
It's very Eternal Sunshine kind of shit, right?
Which is a great movie.
Yeah.
And aspirational at times when it gets bad. Ooh.
Back in the map chamber, you relay everything from the pensieve to the others. Agreeing that it's time to move quickly, they call in Headmistress Neem Fitzgerald to join her frame. She says it's not a surprise to her that a student has made it this far. Her trial will be next, but there are some obstacles in the way that she has to clear first before it's ready for you.
Isn't the whole point obstacles?
Yeah, but I think something has gotten in the way since then.
Oh.
In the meantime, Fig suggests you reach out to Lodgok to see if the helmet worked out for him. By this point, you should have a bunch of friends that you're helping out with their own personal shit as well. Each one relating to the house the friend of yours belongs to. So, for example, you rescue animals with a Hufflepuff, stargaze with a Ravenclaw, or learn how to use dark magic like the torture curse Crucio, or the mind control spell Imperio with your friends in Slytherin.
All equal activities. You know when you have different groups of friends?
Yeah. You have different personalities with the different groups.
The Slytherin friends are the party friends.
Yeah.
You don't bring them home for the holidays.
And you need to be really careful when you use those spells, as they are called the unforgivable curses. And their use can get you sent to Azkaban prison for life. But
oh my god.
right?
You shouldn't be doing this at 15.
No, or ever.
You're in
really.
high school, right? Like,
Yeah.
year five is, wait, are you like a sophomore?
Basically, yeah. You're
Okay.
5, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're like 15. This is bad.
Yeah, totally bad. But using them against some seriously dark and evil wizards might be useful at the same time. Because again, a spell isn't inherently good or evil, just the way you use it.
Cool, now we're in the gun debate. I'm not gonna get political anymore.
Lodgok sends you a message to meet up with him, and to bring a human that can translate the goblin language of gobbledygook. So you enlist the help of a Ravenclaw pal you've made named Amit Thakar, who loves studying magical languages. He's excited to meet Lodgok, having never actually spoken it with a native speaker. You arrive to chat with Lodgok first, just to give him a heads up about the friend you're bringing. He tells you that the helmet presentation did not go quite as planned.
Oh.
Ranrock knew that only a witch or wizard could get it back, so he immediately suspected something fishy. Then he starts ranting about someone named Bragbor and his journals. You ask for more context, and Lodgok explains that before their falling out, Ranrock had sent him on a mission to hunt down Bragbor's journals, with Bragbor being a long-dead relative of his. He was alive when the Keepers were, and he had made containment units for some kind of powerful magic for them. After Lodgok found the journals, he and the other goblins were instructed to search them for any mention of the 4 Keepers as well as someone named Morganaw.
Ooh.
Ranrock started searching for these magical repositories, determined to steal that magic for himself and use it against wizards. Amit finally arrives and speaks gobbledygook at Lodgok, who responds, "I didn't even recognize that noise as language, let alone my native tongue." Hoping that Amit can read it better than speak it. Because he's once again going to have to send you on a mission that he cannot accompany you on, so you'll need someone who can read it for you. You'll be going into an active goblin mine, where Ranrock hides the plans for his schemes.
Ooh, that's cool.
So Lodgok can't be seen helping you if you were to get caught. You and Amit descend into the mines, where you sneak and fight your way past a bunch of angry goblins, discovering that they are building gigantic drills to bore under the ground faster in an effort to find the lost repositories.
He's fracking the fucking mine.
He is, yeah. He went full-blown holy moly. When you exit the mines, Amit loses it, saying he had no idea you were involved in such dangerous shit, telling you to leave him out of your nonsense for good.
I quit. Friendship over.
You're like, "Thanks, Amit. You still did what I needed, so whatever."
It was very transactional.
Back with Lodgok, you tell him about the giant drills and the plan to find the repositories using them. Lodgok opens up and tells you a story about the first time he visited Rookwood Castle, looking for the repository, expecting it to be empty. Instead, he found a woman there, all alone, having set up some kind of lab. When she noticed him, instead of reacting with fear, she invited him to sit with her, something he never in a million years expected. Wizard kind aren't typically nice to goblins who sneak up on them. The two of them chatted, and she ultimately showed him the metal container she couldn't open, asking if it's goblin-made and if he could open it. You ask if her name was Miriam, and he confirms that it was. You tell him of the connection to Professor Fig, and that you know about the container. It held a portkey that set you on this entire journey. The two made an agreement that she could hang on to the goblin-made container if he could search the castle without interruption.
Oh.
She agreed to the terms, and he went about his business. Ranrock eventually showed up with more forces, and when he found out about the deal with Miriam, he got pissed. Yelled at Lodgok for trusting a witch. He says it destroyed him inside when he found out Miriam had been killed. You ask if he thinks Ranrock had done it personally, and Lodgok isn't sure, but can't make any promises.
Wouldn't put it past him.
Shortly after that, Ranrock found the first repository underneath Rookwood Castle, and he started using that power right away. Lodgok saw how it was corrupting him, so he broke ranks after that, leading to their falling out. Just before Lodgok could tell him about the final journal he had found, but hadn't turned in yet. Ranrock knows nothing of it. And the missing journal mentions the largest repository of them all. But if that drill accidentally digs it up, we're all fucked. After your meeting with Lodgok, you take what you learned with you back to the map chamber. Headmistress Fitzgerald highlights the next trial for you, which is in the headmaster's office. When she designed it, she had assumed the sitting head would be helpful. Unfortunately, Professor Black is an asshole, so you'll have to figure out a way to get in there on your own.
Oh.
After that, the entrance to her trial is hidden inside. You return to Professor Fig's office to tell him about Lodgok knowing his wife, and he's excited to meet the goblin, hoping to hear stories of her final days. As for your trip to the headmaster's office, he suggests Polyjuice Potion.
Oh!
It allows you to take the form of anyone. There's a password you'll need to get into it regardless, and Professor Black's personal house elf will know it.
Ooh.
He instructs you to take the potion, then go talk it out of his elf.
Who do you think you would want to be if you could do a polyjuice potion?
I don't know. I don't think I need to be anybody else. I like being me.
You said I'm good.
Yeah.
I'd ruin a lot of billionaires' days, I'll tell you that much.
It is weird that a transphobe would create a potion that can turn you into Never mind.
Ah.
You wonder why he has a potion completely ready to take on the appearance of the headmaster, and he tells you that it's best to always be prepared for anything and to shut up and drink it.
Huh?
In the meantime, he'll take the real Professor Black into Hogsmeade for a fake meeting so you don't run into each other while you're transformed. As you wander the school in the headmaster's body, you get stopped by all sorts of people needing your attention. Such as Professor Sharp, the potions master. He made that, special potion you requested? You demand he tell you what potion he's talking about, and he lowers his voice saying, "It's the cure to the boils on your asshole?"
He tried. There was an effort was made to be polite and gentle.
You laugh saying, it's no big deal, and tell him to have a student drop it off at your office later.
All right. The lotion. The asshole lotion. The lotion for my asshole. Yes.
No need to hide what it is either. And Professor Sharp's like, well, if you insist, you tell him you do, and to make sure he sends a lot of it. Your boils are huge and many.
You little shit. Absolutely.
Another teacher you run into is the flying instructor, who is still mad about Quidditch being canceled this year.
Oh.
Having never even seen Quidditch, you don't personally care about it anyway. So you keep up appearances by ripping into her about her silly little game. She says she's going to file a complaint with the Ministry of Magic on you, and you tell her that's a great idea. You'll even have your personal house elf fetch her the parchment. If only you knew where that little shit had gone off to. She's taken aback and tells you she passed your elf in the Great Hall not too long ago. You find him dusting your lectern at the head of the hall and demand the password from him, which is toujours pure. French for always pure.
I don't like it.
Which is the Black family motto.
See? I just don't think we need to focus on purity for anything.
Ever, right?
Unless it's like cocaine.
You leave the hall just as the Polyjuice potion wears off, and you transition back into a student. From there, you go to the headmaster's office so you can enter it. Once inside, Headmistress Fitzgerald tells you about a book in the room that will take you to the next trial, saying that it may be familiar to anyone who grew up in a wizarding home. You find a copy of Tales of Beetle the Bard laying on a table, and when you pick it up, it sucks you inside.
Whoa!
Tales of Beetle the Bard would be the equivalent to a Mother Goose book in our world, as it has a bunch of short story proverbs aimed at children.
Fables.
Instead of a memory, you are taken into a story within the book.
Like you're in the universe of the story?
Yeah, you're just going to live out the story.
That's cool.
The world around you is black and white, as if it had been hand-drawn in pencil. Fitzgerald is only a voice here, and says that while in this place, you can call her by her first name, Neem. Anyone who survives this will be an equal in her eyes anyway. You have to sneak past the Grim Reaper, referred to as Death, who is looking for 3 mysterious objects. A cloak of invisibility, a powerful, unbeatable magic wand, and a stone that can bring the dead back to life, also known as the Deathly Hallows.
That's that tattoo all those people have.
And many are getting removed.
As they should.
After collecting all three, Neem next guides you to her grave, where her body rests, saying to use the stone on her. But don't worry, this isn't real, so you're not actually raising anyone from the dead or anything. She rises from her tomb and leads you to a massive statue of herself, which releases a tear into a pensieve. You collect the mysterious object from this one, and then dip into Neem's memory. She and Isadora are walking together just outside of Hogwarts. Isadora is complaining that Rackham doesn't know what he's talking about. She's found ways of safely containing all that negative energy. She enlisted the help of a goblin and got him to make a containment unit for all the pain she removes. Neem freaks out, saying that it might work with one person's negativity. But what happens when you start adding it from other people? All that negative magical energy is potentially very dangerous.
You gotta keep them separated.
Isadora tells her to calm down. She knows what she's doing. As she touches her wand to Neem's chest, removing some long-held trauma, releases it into the air, and inhales it like it's a vape cloud.
Oh my god!
Neem scolds her, saying she had no right to do that. Isadora says she's not going to waste this power like the rest of them did, and storms off, leaving Neem alone to wonder what was just taken from her. The memory ends, and you come out of it, back in the headmaster's office. You get the fuck out of there with a quickness and head back to the map chamber where Professor Fig is already waiting. This time, the final member of the Keepers, Professor San Bakar, joins the group, asking if it's true someone has completed the first 3 trials. You ask if Isadora was inhaling painful emotions and turning it into raw power in that memory you just saw.
She did whippets of trauma.
He says she was, and the fact you're asking about it makes him very apprehensive of you. It means you don't really understand how powerful this magic can be. You give him the TLDR on Ranrock and why it's important you move quickly. He says, be that as it may, what he has to share is the most powerful of all the trials. It's the final one before you gain the entire knowledge of your power. He needs time to discuss it with the other Keepers first, telling you to fuck off until they're ready for you. You and Fig talk it out for a bit, and he says that if the Keepers won't show you the final location of the trial, maybe the two of you can spy on Ranrock to see if he's onto something. Maybe that will reveal the final trial. In the meantime, you meet back up with Sebastian Salo and tell him about everything going on with you. He tells you that he happened to notice a group of Ranrock's followers marching through the woods. If you hurry, you can follow them. On the way, Sebastian brings up Isadora and how she may have found something that could cure his sister Anne. You tell him that the power she found is considered dangerous by the Keepers, and that it's not to be pursued, but suppressed. This keeps the boy from Slytherin quiet for now, and the two of you head into a cave, following the groups of goblins. Inside, Sebastian straight up starts killing them, saying he doesn't give a fuck about these grubby little freaks.
He wants to get some energy out. He's actually a prime target for Isadora's bullshit of pulling the trauma out, because he's got a lot of it bubbling to the surface.
You told him he's causing way too much of a scene, and that if he's going to act this way, he can go straight back to Hogwarts.
Okay, you're being dramatic. You're causing a scene. He's helping you. Be polite.
You need to stop killing people. He apologizes, saying he's just emotional because he wants to save his sister, and these little shits are in the way of that. He promises to calm down, and the two of you continue. You even have to fight a cave troll that is guarding whatever is down here.
I like the amount of trolls you've experienced.
Oh, there's a shitload of trolls.
Reddit.
Once it's defeated, you say, nothing like an angry troll to bring friends together.
Aww.
Which is a paraphrased line from the very first Harry Potter book, describing the moment that made Harry, Ron, and Hermione into inseparable best friends after they took down a troll in the dungeon.
Trauma bonded. Trauma's okay sometimes.
Thought you ought to know. Eventually, you find a hidden home inside the cave. One made by Isadora herself. Apparently, she did all her research on this power she discovered here. You don't find another trial, but you do find another pensieve. So the two of you head inside to see what Isadora wanted to show you. It takes place just before the keepers arrived at Isadora's house for dinner. She's in her bedroom speaking with her father, saying she can't bring back her brother, but she can deliver him peace. The door opens and the keepers enter. We then see the scene play out as it had before, only it continues after her father says thank you. The keepers are gone, and a goblin is at her door. It's Bragbor, asking if the container he created for her worked. She says it did, and he's not surprised. Goblin silver is very strong stuff. She says she needs a much larger one, as she plans to remove a lot of negativity from the world. But she also needs a way to access it, because she thinks that this power has great benefits to wizardkind as well, so long as it's wielded responsibly. Bragbor warns her that very few are capable of having that level of power. She says maybe so, but someday there might be. Outside the memory, Sebastian is excited, saying that if she can remove someone's pain, then you can too.
Oh.
And that you need to do it for his sister Anne. You tell him to calm down. That power is very dangerous, and you also have no idea how to do it.
Yeah.
He says that's just details. The keepers can teach you. You tell him that you will, at the very least, mention his sister to the keepers to see if there's any ideas they have, but make no promises. But if you want to find out what happens after that, you'll have to play the game because it's very worth it, but not part of the main story at all.
Boo.
After you finish here, you get a message from Lodgok to meet at a goblin mine. He's found where their big-ass drill is tunneling. You meet up with him and fight your way to the drill, deciding to cave in the walls around it to destroy it. Ranrock sees this and approaches you, saying that it's no bother, they'll just build another one. Then Rookwood enters, shoving Lodgok into the cavern, saying he found him sniveling around outside. Lodgok is holding the secret journal, saying he just wants all the violence to end, and hands it over to Ranrock. Ranrock reads it, and then goes apeshit, rounding on Lodgok, saying he knew this entire time where the last repository was, and he held back on him? He yells out that wizards and goblins can never get along, and that the child used him, as all wizards do. He holds the journal in his hands and turns, saying now that he has this, he doesn't need a single one of them. Not Rookwood, and especially not his stupid little brother, Lodgok.
Dun, dun, dun.
With a powerful blast of energy, Ranrock sends Lodgok flying at a wall at 100 miles an hour, where he smashes into it and falls to the ground dead.
Oh!
Rookwood sends a killing curse at Ranrock, shouting, Avada Kedavra, barely missing. Magic begins to rebound all over the cave walls, and rocks begin to cave in as all hell breaks loose. You escape and make it back to the map chamber. Everyone is scared now that Ranrock has the location for the large repository. He's clearly lost his mind in his lust for power, even murdering his own brother. Professor Bakar is upset because they erased Bragbor's memory way back when. They never thought to check for fucking journals. Since you saw the memories from Isadora, Bakar admits you're probably fully aware of the consequences of this happening. So they all agree you can attempt the final trial now, highlighting it on the map beneath your feet and saying they hope you're good with magical beasts, and that Bakar will meet you in his portrait there. When you arrive at the location, you are attacked by a large creature called a Graphorn.
Whoa.
Picture a Cthulhu rhinoceros.
Oh.
You have to beat it into submission and then kneel before him. Once you do, you can mount and ride around on him,
That's fucking great.
trampling on enemies along the way.
Hell yeah.
It's also required to have a tame one to open the doorway into the pensieve room. Once inside, Professor Bakar is there, saying the others were right to have faith in you. His statue is in the following room, and it sends a tear into the basin. You collect your mysterious magical thingy and head inside. The memory belongs to Professor Bakar, as he's approaching Isadora's home, sometime after that dinner party. The door is open and he enters, where he sees her father, Mr. Morganaw, sitting alone at the dinner table. Bakar approaches him, but he says nothing. After putting his hand on Mr. Morganaw's shoulder, he turns displaying a gray and sunken face with stark wide eyes.
Oh.
Professor Bakar runs out of the room, and the scene shifts into Professor Rackham's office. He says that it's worse than they feared. He has been stripped not just of his pain, but of all emotion entirely. Rackham says he just got word she started using this new power on students, and that the Keepers have to stop her. They track Isadora to her repository deep underground beneath the school in a secret temple, one of the first things she was taught to build with ancient magic. Floating in the center is the repository, an ornate ball made of silver glowing with magical energy. Isadora greets the group, saying, "Isn't it wonderful? Nobody has to suffer ever again. Not her father, not her students, no one." The four raise their wands at their coworker, saying to lower her own. She says that Professor Rackham was the one who taught her to harness her power, not hide it. He says, "Not like this," and attempts to disarm her with Expelliarmus. But the magical energy of the repository deflects the spell for her. With a wave of her wand, she sends Headmistress Fitzgerald flying into a wall, knocking her out. Then she rounds on Rackham and Rookwood, dueling them both at the same time. With a loud Avada Kedavra from Bakar's voice, a green of jet light finds her chest, and Isadora falls down dead. The Keepers confirm that Fitzgerald is still alive, and the memory concludes. You head back to the map chamber to confront the Keepers about what you saw.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
They say that after she died, they didn't know what to do with the repository. They didn't think it was safe to just open it up and unleash all that energy.
Yeah, and you can't really, dispose of it safely.
So they left it stored there all this time, hoping someone would come along with the power to safely do something with it.
Oh.
That's when they became the Keepers, to make sure that if anyone else comes along that can see traces of ancient magic, that the trials would ensure they were the right person to gain the knowledge of what Isadora did. That, and you needed those 4 mystery items you've been collecting. You need to take those items to Ollivander, who will construct a special wand for you to use.
That's why he's open year-round.
For this specific reason.
Yes, just in case. There's one goblin that for 400 years read books in a room. Probably 2, so they'd have an on and off shift. So let's call it a 12-hour just to keep it round. Come on, there was a breaker in there for lunches.
Well, this magic wand will allow you to find the repository using ancient magic. It should rival the power that Ranrock has absorbed from the other repositories that he's already found. While you head off to Ollivander's, Fig decides it's time to let Professor Weasley in on what's been happening, since it looks like Ranrock will be drilling underneath Hogwarts very soon, going after the final one. You bring the parts to Ollivander, and he quickly whips up a new wand for you, saying that if his theory is correct, based on what you brought him, he suspects this wand is good for just one spell only.
Wow.
And that you'll know how to use it when the time comes.
The Master Ball.
You thank him and head back to the school. Outside the shop, you run into Victor Rookwood, who says he's not here to fight. You and he have a mutual enemy in Ranrock now, and he wants to join forces. You say that he wants the exact same thing as Ranrock, just for wizard dominance. That's not how you roll either. He yells that the repository is his birthright as the descendant of one of the Keepers. You tell him his ancestor hid it away to keep it safe from people exactly like him.
Yeah.
One of his men appears behind you, places his hand on your shoulder, and vanishes the 3 of you to Rookwood's stronghold.
Crime must be so easy here.
Here you have one final boss battle with the would-be crime lord. With a final spell cast in his direction, he explodes in a cloud of dust as you end his reign of terror once and for all.
You've blown up so many adversaries in this whole fucking semester.
You report back to your teacher that you murdered a man.
Minus 10 points for Hufflepuff.
And he says, well, you did what you had to do.
Did you lose points for that?
You don't lose points for that, no.
What? Didn't the kids in the movies lose points for shit like wandering around the halls after dark? You committed murder.
Yeah.
Whole ass, I exploded a man murder. And they're like, damn, that's crazy.
He's like, the world is better off without him anyway.
Wow.
The 4 Keepers say, you're ready now. You have proven yourself worthy of all their knowledge.
And you've killed man.
All in the hopes that you can stop Ranrock from gaining the repository's ultimate power. You've seen now through your studies and the trials that magic can be used for both good and evil. But the magic Isadora discovered has no good behind it. You can't eliminate darkness without fucking up the light. Rackham tells you that you'll know when to use the special wand and how, leaving the legacy of the Keepers in your hands. Fortunately, now Professor Fig can join you for the final fight. You don't need to leave him behind like you did in the trials. The floor map beneath you vanishes, revealing a room beneath and a doorway. They tell you it leads to the final repository. Fig hopes you're not too late, and that you find just a big, empty, boring room with a floating sphere. You cross the threshold of the door into a cavern, where you see the drill bursting through a wall in the far distance.
It's raced down to the bottom.
Right to the very end. Realizing you need to hurry, the two of you tear ass toward where the repository is kept, deep in the cave. Ranrock's forces are many, and the two of you are struggling to get through them. Suddenly, you begin to hear popping noises all around you, as the entire teaching staff of Hogwarts begins to apparate into the cave, wands drawn, firing down spells on those goblin fuckstains.
The Avengers Assemble moment.
You raise a group of baddies into the air and watch as your defense against the dark arts teacher magically yeets them down a bottomless pit. Now protected by your professors, you and Fig march forward to beat Ranrock to the container.
The entire staff has left all of Hogwarts unattended.
Right.
To deal with this one very specific issue.
The potions master slashes a charging troll, who trips and falls into a pillar. It cracks and falls, casting a shadow around you as it falls directly down at your helpless body. It stops inches from your head, held aloft by Professor Weasley's wand.
Nice.
Which she uses to create a bridge for the two of you to cross.
Not my students, you bitch.
A group of goblins give chase, only to find themselves running through thin air as she releases the rock just as your feet reach the other side. You and Professor Fig approach a 40-foot tall doorway carved into the rock wall, flanked by two equally tall enchanted suits of armor. They stand, drawing their swords ready to fight. Fig tells you, this is it. Use the wand. You pull it out, and the wand gives you complete control of the two behemoths.
Whoa.
Instead of attacking, they slam their swords into the ground tip first, causing a burst of magic to open the large doors behind them. Beyond the threshold, you can see the ornate silver ball floating in the air surrounded by magical energy. Fig says that this is what Miriam, George, Lodgok, hell, even Jackdaw died for. All that pain is about to be relieved. Miriam always believed this power could be used for good, but she never completed the trials. She didn't know the dangers this magic possesses. Now he asks, what do you intend to do with this power?
Oh.
Giving you the option to keep it contained and seal it away forever.
Oh.
Or open it and take the power for yourself.
Ooh.
Just so you know, your choice will not matter in the slightest.
God damn it! I was so excited.
The same outcome occurs regardless. The only thing that's different is whether Fig agrees with you or not, and that's it.
Just one character's sentiment for you.
Because the moment that choice is made, Ranrock joins the scene, ready to fuck your day up.
God damn it.
He says that goblins built the repository, so it belongs to them. He then pulls out a wand, which is very illegal.
He's not supposed to have a wand, right?
Goblins are not allowed to use wands, which is another reason goblins hate wizards, of course. Not only does he pull a wand, but Fig recognizes it as belonging to his late wife, Miriam.
No!
Ranrock says that it's her fault for not handing over the box with the port key in the first place. Had she done that, this would have all ended ages ago, and she wouldn't have had to die. Calling her a foolish, self-important witch.
You signed your death wish, motherfucker.
Fig unleashes on him, sending a spell directly at the little cretin. He deflects it effortlessly, saying that Fig and Miriam were perfect for each other. She didn't know when to quit either. He sends a spell at the two of you, and you jump out of the way. It sails past and hits the repository, which explodes, unleashing the negative energy within. Ranrock begins to glow red, absorbing the magical power that was just released. He begins to grow and morph, the metal of his armor glowing bright red and expands across his body while he rages, transforming into a gigantic, flying dragon creature.
Whoa.
He flies around the massive cavern, crashing into a wall and sending boulders raining down, one of which crashes straight down on Professor Alazor Fig right before your eyes.
Oh, he flattened another man.
This kicks off the final confrontation between yourself and the dragon Ranrock, firing everything you have at each other until you finally call forth the magic of the ancients and bring it down on him, sending him to the depths of goblin hell for good. You find Professor Fig at the bottom of a pit, where he's magically putting the repository back together in an effort to contain the magic that was released. You find Miriam's wand, and with it, the two of you begin to repair the repository, while also trying to keep the cave from collapsing down around the two of you. After working together and combining your power, the repository reforms, and a shockwave of magic pulses through the cave. You look around and find Professor Fig gasping for air, lying on the ground. He looks around desperately, saying his wife's name. You place her wand in his hands, and he clutches it tightly, saying Miriam would have loved to meet you.
Oh.
Then he takes one final breath and leaves this world to meet up with his late wife once more. Later, back at the Great Hall, Professor Phineas Nigellus Black, headmaster of Hogwarts, stands before the entire school and raises a glass to Professor Fig, a beloved teacher to his students, and a colleague to the teachers.
Motherfucker!
Always ready to charge bravely into the unknown, with zero regard for his safety at every turn. Teaching us all very unfortunate lessons along the way.
Oh my god!
Realizing the headmaster is blowing this eulogy, Professor Weasley takes over the podium to give some actual warm words about her fallen comrade, calling him a brilliant mind and a loyal friend, saying that if it hadn't been for Professor Fig warning her of Ranrock's plan, Hogwarts would very likely not be here today, along with most everyone sitting in this room. The best we can do now is live our lives as best we can to honor his sacrifice. Professor Black stands up, raising his glass, and toasts to Professor Fig. You, along with the rest of the Great Hall, stands with him, raising their own goblets in his honor, as the screen fades to Sirius Black and the credits roll.
To Sirius Black?
The end. That was Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, they leave a little door open.
No, I'm just saying it faded to black. I just threw in the Sirius.
Oh, I thought you were serious.
Anyway, Goombas, thank you so much for listening to that.
That was wild.
Yes, if you're a fan of Harry Potter, I hope that all made sense. If you're not a fan of Harry Potter, I still hope that made sense.
Lots of dragons.
Whole lot of dragons and a whole lot of R names.
It's like too many dragons for me. But I appreciate you breaking it down.
Yeah, we got Rookwood. We had Ranrock and Rackham and so many R names. It was insane.
I think there's a Ramrod in there.
Oh, well, Goombas, if you enjoyed that, please make sure you like our show, that you subscribe to it, do all the different things you can. You can check out our website, theothercastlepodcast.com.
That's theothercastlepodcast.com.
Over there, we have links to our Instagram, Discord, as well as our Patreon, where we have 2 exclusive shows. We do DLCs, histories, movie commentaries, and just general jib-jab. And it sounds a little bit like this.
Is that Michelle Rodriguez? This is like a year after the first Fast and Furious, too.
Yeah.
I think that was 2001.
She told her agent, the moment you hear word of a Resident Evil script, you make sure I am in that audition. That place that we were talking about, where we were saying where it was filmed, where we don't know where it is.
Oh, that's probably the Philippines,
Is it the Philippines?
It might be.
Did my Filipino wife just say, I don't know where the fuck that place is?
That's not where my my mom's from?
And yes, it is the Philippines.
And at $5 and above, you get to hear your name called out at the end credits. So here we go. We've got Aaron, Clinton, Daniel, Ellen,
Krisha, Molly, Trenton, Chase,
Jutsu, X of Triforce, Luigi, So Thanatoasted, Oliver,
JCC, Pants Thief 3000, Nimitz, Caroline, and Rondell.
Thank you all so much. You guys help keep this show completely ad-free.
And thank you and everyone on our $2 tier as well for helping us donate money.
Yes, you can see those names in the credits below.
And if you'd like to join us in donating, all the information is in the show notes where you can also find all those names.
Yes, that's for Trans Lifeline. Anyway, Goombas, as always, this is Tom and Andrea reminding you.
Protect the dolls. Trans rights are human rights.
And don't skip the cutscenes. Bye!